All right, my peeps. Welcome back to another stream here on the Dre Sanchez YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, January 13th, and guess what? We are going to Reno and then on to Salt Lake City. We're flying today in the CRJ 200 for Skywest, as you see on the side of it here. And Skywest is an airline that typically flies regional routes, and it services United Express, American Eagle, Delta, things of that nature. So we're flying for Skywest, representing a United route, which is a real route that actually goes directly from San Francisco on over to Reno. But then again, we're going to also add another leg that Skywest also does, which is over to Salt Lake City. First leg super short, 36 minutes, and I'm assuming the next leg is probably going to be about an hour in the air. We'll see. You know, we'll always make it interesting. But before we get on board, I want to welcome you on board. Thanks for joining the stream, and I hope everybody is well. I'm excited to do this. I haven't flown this aircraft for quite some time, so this ought to be very interesting. I have already got many of the aircraft systems on. We're on PilotEdge. We just need to file our flight plan, make sure we get the correct runway, and go from there. So without further ado, let's jump on board. Let's get this journey started so we don't have to sit here too much on the ground, which you guys know I'm trying to get rid of all of that ground time that we spend here. So before we even jump on board, let me just show you actually where we're at. Again, here we are at lovely San Francisco International Airport. We are at the F concourse, and this is gate F15 left, or Lima. Here on the scenery it says 84, but that's what it is. It's the same parking space. And right now the active runways are 1 left and 1 right to take off, and they're landing 28 left and 28 right. So we'll see what we get. We could potentially even get 28 left. No big deal. And then of course, let's just take a look, see here really quick at the actual departure that we're doing, and we will be transitioning up here at Orca. So essentially we're going to come off the field, whichever runway, whether we're getting the let ones or the 28s, and we'll do that. So all right, without further ado, as promised, let's go ahead and get this journey on and crack-a-lackin'. Again, welcome to the stream, and you see here we have the door open here, so let's go ahead and immediately jump in and get that closed. We'll assume you wonderful passengers have already boarded, and or as my first officer, of course, because you know I love you guys flying right seat. But anyway, we are now here on the aircraft. If you can imagine, virtual passengers seated in every seat here. And let's go ahead and get this door closed up. Boom, slam in our face. But nonetheless, the door is closed, which is a good thing. Now we're going to jump here on the flight deck, and let's go ahead and double check everything on the aircraft. One thing that we need to do is get V speeds. Today the aircraft is about 50,124 pounds. So here really quick before we even get started, I need to go ahead and get these V speeds plugged in, and so that we have the actual right speeds for takeoff. And this is what I'm using here. This is the CRJ pilot handbook, and this is 49,000 feet, 604. So we're going to use these figures here. I might just add one to each one, and we'll be taking off flaps 20 here, of course. Yeah, because we're pretty full, so we'll go ahead and do flaps 20. So let's get that out of here. I just wanted to show you guys where I'm getting that information from. So flaps 20 for the V1 is going to be 133. So how we do this here, we have to click into here, but essentially we need to switch that over first. And let's see, start moving this, and we said that's going to be 133 for V1. All right, let's go on down to V-rotate. V-rotate will be right at 136. All right, I'm pumped up. I like flying this aircraft. Again, haven't done it for quite some time. 143 will be our climb out speed. All right, there's 143, and then of course we'll be flying at flight level 210, so that'll be 189 for the final V speed, or our clean climb. which means we're flaps clean and climbing, and where this is going to be at 190. Alright, now that's at 190, and then of course we want to see the flight plan over here, so we have to make sure the nav source is going to reflect that. Alright, and you can see our flight plan is in here right now. That's nav 1, here we go. That's the flight plan we want. You can see we have runway 10 right plan. The altimeter is 3032, and again, the rest of this stuff is already put in there. Also, if we come up top, you can see that we've got the nav light on, we've got the actual emergency lights arm, and the passenger seat belts and no smoking are most certainly illuminated. Alright, so let's go ahead and quiet this music down, because it is most certainly time to get to work here. Alright, so that is stopped. Now we are going to want to go ahead and get our actual flight plan clearance here. So we are on 18.2. First of all, let's check the ATIS.
28 left. Departing runways 1 right, 1 left. Visual approach is in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Alpha.
Alright, Alpha is current.
San Francisco International Airport. ATIS information Alpha.
Hey, Chiefs and Pilot, how you doing, my brother?
Wind 010
trying to sneak in a really quick Wednesday stream here. So thanks for joining.
20,000 scattered.
And hope you're well.
2.12. Altimeter 3032.
Alright, altimeter is 3032. So we already have that programmed in here. If you come down here and look, we've already got 3032. Again, I did want to get the aircraft up and running for you guys so that we can basically get out of here. So now let's go ahead and call for that clearance, of course. So let's come back up here again, and let's put on our COM 1 radio. Oops, wrong one. There we go. San Francisco clearance, Skywest 318, IFR Reno. Alright, and if we get any marker indicators, I know that this is going to be it. Let's see, 118 to... oh, you know what? It wasn't on. There we go. Now it's back on. San Francisco clearance, Skywest 318, IFR Reno. There we go. That should work. It's probably going to be a small delay there. Let me go ahead and just...
Skywest 318, San Francisco clearance, clear to Reno Airport, truck to departure, Orca transition, then is filed. Climb via the SID, squawk 6572.
Okay, clear to Reno is filed, trucking 2, and then Orca transition, climb via SID, squawking 6572, Skywest 318.
Skywest 318, read back correct.
Alright, so we didn't get any runways or anything yet, but so we already have that flight plan plugged in here, if you will. So if we come over here, we're going to go ahead and see that all these points are already put in here. I didn't want to belabor that for you guys, so I went ahead and made sure it was squared away. See how we're working together today? You know what I'm saying? Not wasting anybody's time. So that's already been plugged in. Again, the big question mark will be what runway are we getting? So now climb via SID means I must adhere to the standard terminal or standard instrument departure. What he referenced again is that trucking 2, which I showed you guys already, but I'll show you again because I'm a really nice guy, especially on Wednesdays, hump day. Really nice guy. I cannot express that enough. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so here's what we need to do here in order to leave. Again, we don't know which runway, so we don't know which narrative to read, but what I am looking for right now is flight level 190 is the top altitude, so I'm going to write that down. My pen's running out of ink here. And then another pertinent key piece of information that they don't give you when they just say give you the departure, that's for you to come over here and know that that's your departure frequency, or it's departure frequency, which you notice the controller didn't give to us at clearance is 120.9. Again, this is where you have to come in and get that information from your trusty dusty charts. in order for that to work. So we're getting ready to get our pushback here. Hey, honey, how you doing? My wife is checking in with me. She's always there supporting me. Appreciate you. So is Chief Sim Pilot and the rest of the crew and everybody else checking us out. So thank you for that, guys. Hopefully we get us a great landing today. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get the APU on, and then we'll get our flight level all programmed in, because we can multitask while the aircraft is pushing back. So what we need to do first is turn this power on here. You're not going to see anything here, but then we're going to hit this start and stop. Now when we hit that start and stop, we need to make sure our hydraulic pump 3A is on, and you'll see that illuminate. And then also we can come down here
on the visual for runway 16 left.
And we'll notice here the APU is coming up. Here's the exhaust gas temperature. This is the revolutions per minute.
Alright, 16
so
left.
You hear that distinguished beep. We can go ahead and extinguish this now. It's just letting us know the APU is available. So essentially now we need to put on this generator, and we'll disconnect the ground power. And now that that's on, we also need to put our APU bleeds on, of course. So we have to do our bleeds and open up our isolation valve. And we're also going to let everybody know that our beacon is on, so the aircraft will be coming alive soon. Now we can most certainly get the rest of our hydraulic pumps on, and we'll also turn our fuel pumps on, of course. We need to see Daisy turn blue with the wrench. I see you. All right.
Romeo Zulu, paying ground runway 34 left, taxi via Alpha.
That just means I'm assuming he's
34 left by Alpha.
using that Nightbot. I got to get using the chat better too, guys. I need to figure out that Nightbot and how to use that piece. Maybe Chief Sim Pilot can help this old guy out. Anyway, our APU's on. You hear some announcements being made.
Discretion, maintain flight level 280.
Now let's go ahead and get our altimeter all squared away, and then we have to get, or not our altimeter, but our altitude. If you look over here in the primary flight display, that's what I'm working on. I'm going to put 19,000 feet in there because that is the top of our altitude. Now the last aircraft I flew was an Embraer CRJ 145, and it didn't have auto throttles. Well, this one's the same way. This aircraft doesn't have auto throttles, so we'll most certainly be managing a lot of this aircraft manually. Let's see here, and let's work on the range here. Let's see what we got. Let's see, let's put this in the plan mode. Let me check something out here. Alright, something I feel is off. Let's make sure we hit execute again. And should be seeing this flight plan up here, so let's figure out why that is. We're not. And it's referencing that it's up here, so we'll assume that it's all good and in there. Let's look at our first waypoint on this and make sure that's in. So legs, one right, and then we're direct there. So if we're looking at it, just double checking, that makes a lot of sense right there. Let's look and see if we can get it into plan mode. Nav 2, so this should be the plan mode. Let's see if we can step through this here. That's very strange. We don't have a plan mode, but you know what? We're not going to worry about it because, again, we're just wasting time. And again, it's on FMS here, so it's all good. I was just a little paranoid because these things do tend to glitch here and there. But without further ado, let's get rid of that ground power unit. Click on your wife's name and add moderator. She gets the power to help you control chat. That way, just a thought. Got you. Okay, I didn't know that. Let me do that right now. Chief Sim Pilot, I appreciate you. So, let me click on her and make her
Alpha 10 ready.
Moderator. Honey, in case you didn't know, you're becoming a moderator. There you go. Now you can respond for me, honey, and make responses in the chat. Thank you for that, Chief Sim Pilot. See? Not too bad. This old dog does learn new tricks. Thank you for that, brother. Good looking on that. Honey, you're hired as the moderator. If you didn't know, now you know. Anyway, let's go ahead and get out of here, man. Oh yeah, what were we doing? I got distracted by learning something new. Alright, let's go over here to go to the index, and actually we'll go to MCD menu, and this is a little sim thing here, but we got to get rid of the ground power. So the ground power is done now, so then essentially we can come back over here to perf. Is going to be what we want to observe. We are on the takeoff 1 profile, so that's good. And now we can essentially get our pushback. The doors are secure. Up top, everything is looking good. We have our isolation valve open, our bleed on, and our external power is disconnected. Let's put our logo light on just for happiness. Everything else here looks good, folks. Let's go ahead and call for our pushback.
17, the left one able, taxi via Bravo to the
And of
ramp.
course, we're going to put in our squat code. All right, let's start that pushback.
Monitor ground 0.7, female 4716.
.com 89, contact Salt Lake City Center 133.25.
Oh yeah, got her. That's right. Love it. Gotta respect the missus. You are absolutely right. Hey, once you learn a few things in life, you understand who the true boss is. No matter who you are, no matter if you're an alpha, if you love your queen, you'll understand real quick who the boss is in that relationship. Anyway, good stuff. I love it. You can see the cart. He's just coming straight out of the building like a straight up gangster. You don't care. All right. So now we're going to come down here. We have to put our squat code in, which we can't forget. Our squat code is 6572. So we're going to go 65 and then 72 on the small one. And then we're good to go there. And 6572, and we'll go ahead and put that to squawk ready.
Ready to connect.
Let's just make sure our parking brake is still set, which it is. If you can't see it, it's right here. It is still set.
Pilot's discretion, maintain 17000.
Little flimsy looking thing, of course.
3005.
All right. So we got that going on.
An adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
All right, guys. I think we're ready to start that pushback. All right. Parking brake is released for you guys. All right. We're going to start pushing back. We're probably lifting up a little bit. As you can see, the aircraft is lifting up a little bit, getting ready for the pushback. In the meantime, let's go ahead and continue to log in what we need to get on board in order to make this departure happen.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, so again, I don't know what to actually put in the heading yet because we just simply don't know. So while we're getting pushed back, let's turn off our comms 1 and go straight on over to our ATIS and just make sure it hasn't changed to alpha.
Advise on initial contact. You have information Bravo.
Okay, see, now it's Bravo, so it's a good thing we're checking, because that's why I do it.
San Francisco International Airport.
So we may have to change a few things.
0056 Zulu. Wind 340 at 5. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 600. Few clouds at 18,000. 20,000 scattered. Temperature 16. Dew point 12. Altimeter 3033. Arriving runways 28 right, 28 left. Departing runways 1 right, 1 left. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested.
And we also need
read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Bravo.
Alright, so now we got that updated. Now we can most certainly come down here and turn that off, and we can come and actually plug in our taxi information so that we can talk to ground and let them know.
Set parking brake.
Let them know that we've been good stewards and got the weather information. All right, there's that.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, that is good to go. Now let's come back down here. So the ground here is 121.8. So let's go ahead and change that to 121.8. All right. Oh, and I gotta switch that back. I don't know how that got to 131. I guess I was not paying attention, which is free. It's free to pay attention, guys, so that's my fault. All right. 121.8 for the ground, and the tower is 120.5. So let's get that going. You know what? There's actually an easier way to do this.
Disconnected on bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time.
All right.
And have a safe flight.
Billings clearance, citation
And
344
here is
Alpha
our
Whiskey with
secondary
information
radio. Our departure
IFR
frequency is
to Jackson.
120.9.
344 Alpha Whiskey, Billings clearance clear to the Jackson Airport. Billings 5 departure, expect radar vectors, Billings VOR, and then as filed.
All right, so that's
Maintain
plugged in now.
7,000.
120.9 is in there, and that's our departure frequency. Of course, we'll probably put it over once we get to the base of the runway.
120.5.
And we are good to go. And here he is. Thank you, sir. Making sure he's nice and safe. Let's go ahead and get this aircraft started up at this point.
Cleared to
So what we need to do is come up here and turn our ignition on. And we're going to go for the right start on the right engine.
Booms, and then
Verify once again, parking brake is set. Starting number 2.
260, 10 minutes after.
Alright, we're going to wait for that to get to 21. Now we need to introduce fuel by simply
Papa Whiskey, the Billings
looking that up.
departure, speculator vectors of Billings, VOR.
Now that's coming up.
Billings VOR, 4 off Whiskey.
4 off Whiskey, read back correct.
Again, we're going to be taking off flaps 20. So as you can see here, that flaps 20 is set. It's all good there. And it's indicating now we can go ahead and get the left side engine started. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. Make sure we've got rotation, which we do, which means it's getting a nice stream of hot air from the isolation valve. Now we're going to come right here.
Information, Victor.
355.
There we go. It's introducing fuel, and of course now our annunciator panel,
right, clear to land.
or ECAS, is representing just a few little items here. All right, now that we have some good rotation on both engines, we're going to let number 1 stabilize, and that looks good. Okay, let's go to the up top view right now, and now essentially we need to put our generators on. So left generator and the right generator. Give that about 2 to 3 seconds for it to catch up. Now we can actually turn our APU generator off. And you can see my mouse, my flight controls, the mouse slid right across there. Alright, so now we have our generators on, of course. And we can turn our bleeds off. Alright, our generator's on. We don't need to mess with anything else because our bleeds on this aircraft automatically come on, so that's good. And now we can stop the APU, we can turn our ignition off, and now that the APU's had a couple of seconds to stop, we'll turn that power off, which also closes the fuel access to the APU. And from this point, folks, we are good to go. Let's check that annunciator panel one more time. Let's go ahead and push on the warning panels here. Nothing to worry about. Everything is good to go. And our flaps are set, so let's go ahead and figure out now what runway they're going to give us. So here we go. San Francisco ground, Skywest 318 with information Bravo is ready to taxi.
Skywest 318, San Francisco ground, runway 1 left, taxi via Alpha, Mike 1.
Runway 1 left via Alpha, Mike 1, Skywest 318. Alright, so I did anticipate on, let me see which runway I anticipated on here. I'll tell you right now. I don't know if I, let's see, 1 right. So we went 1 left. Here's how we fix that really quick, folks. So now that we know the truth, we're going to come over here and we're going to select 1 left, which is not going to make a huge difference. And let's still make sure our everything else is selected the same. Trunk 2, so let's just make sure we have that in there. And just for modification here, let's hit that. And let's go over to flight plan. Let's see what that looks like now. Not a whole lot of change except to 1 left. Let's execute that. So now the aircraft knows that we still mean business. And of course we can go over here to perf, to the thrust limit, make sure nothing changed there. So now we're set up to go to 1 left. Alright, so essentially what we're going to be doing, Alpha all the way around to Mike 1. And so essentially we're almost pretty much on the taxiway. We just need to do basically a left face and go that way here. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about so you guys don't think I'm too crazy here. Okay, so what you're going to do is we're pushed back from the FCON course. We're basically going to make a left. This Alpha is basically this inner taxiway, so we're not even going to switch over. We're not going to pass any other intersections. We're simply going to come all the way around on Alpha, and then we're going to come right here to Mike 1, and we'll report holding short Mike 1 here for departure, okay? Now, another thing that we need to pay attention now that we know it's 1 left, now we can read the narrative for 1 left. So it says climb heading 14 degrees to 520, then right turn direct to tie-dye, cross tie-dye at or above 3,000, then on track 43, and then we see after tie-dye we can just keep climbing on up to, so essentially we just do our best to climb all the way up above 3,000 before we make it to tie-dye, and then we just keep climbing. That's how we do it.
344 Alpha Whiskey with information.
So let's go ahead and put our heading in right now of 14 degrees, and that's essentially what we needed to see off of that. So I wanted to share that with you guys because once again I'm in the sharing mood today. I don't know what it is, but of course we need to come over here and make sure our flight director is on, and let's put that heading in of 14 degrees.
28 right via Hotel Golf Juliet
All right.
Alpha.
Here we go, folks. Again, looking forward to having you guys on board. Again, first flight is only about 36 minutes. Probably spent longer on the ground chit chat with you wonderful folks than doing that. All right, let's go ahead and get our landing light on. All right, just double checking everything up top. Our hydraulics are looking good. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go ahead and get our landing light on, which is just a simple push of this switch, and we are out. Flaps are down. We're looking good. Let's just double check our trims. Trims are right there at 7.0. That's a good trim. I like it a lot. All right, parking brake is released, and let's hit alpha. There goes my mouse again. All right, let's keep looking left here to make sure we don't crash into anybody here. This looks clear. Left is clear. All right, let's let that guy skedaddle across. No respect for aviators here. Just rolling everywhere he wants to. I'll fix my mouse here in a second. So now we're just going to take this literally all the way around the airport. Hopefully we do well enough today. All right, fix those flight controls. We are on alpha. Now I can't remember if I can set some stuff in this aircraft already ahead of time. So let's just take a look here. See if it'll allow us to put the vertical speed mode on as well. All right. Let's pay attention to what we got going on here. Want to make sure we stay here on alpha. All right, and we are still on alpha, of course. Got to watch this airport because it can get real funny looking in what you have to do, so you want to make sure you stay on the right taxiway, because trust you me, I'll be the first to tell you I'll go to the wrong taxiway in a heartbeat and be like, oops. Especially these more complicated airports. Usually I'm pretty good about it, but I am human, so it does happen in the sim world and real life. So not to make you guys too uncomfortable if you're taking a flight today or tomorrow, just know that your pilots may be missing their intersection. I'm just kidding. It's usually not that bad. Don't let me scare you guys. All right, now we're looking for Mike 1. We are on alpha. We should be passing Golf, then Hotel, then Mike 1. Then we can get our radio frequencies all set up. In the meantime, again, I'm curious if this thing is going to let me... and I think it does. It's the best way for a smooth takeoff.
Tower Mooney 355, runway 2 Alpha 4. Taxi.
We'll go about 800 feet. So what I'm doing basically is getting the vertical profile set up. So when I hit autopilot, when we leave, the aircraft can already be ready to match what I'm doing in terms of passing it over. All right, this should be Hotel here. Okay, that was Hotel. And the next one should be Mike, then Mike 1.
SOCOM 89, contact Big Sky approach 118.97.
Alright, and this one here should definitely be Mike 1. So we got a little dark outside.
SOCOM 89, Big Sky approach, advise you have information Delta, expect visual approach runway 30, descend and maintain 13,000.
Right down at 13, we have Delta on board, documented.
and we're actually on mic. Let's see here. We might need to, but see on my scenery there is no mic 1. That would be it. So sometimes there's a little discrepancy on the runway scenery. So this is it for us. So if he makes that comment, then we'll just let him know there is no mic 1 in our scenery. Oops, I don't know why I'm indenting. Oops, he's probably going to be like, hey, why are you indenting? That's all right. It was a true mistake. All right, and we said 120.9 is going to be the departure frequency. So let's get that rolling in there. All right, 1209, and I think we're good to go. We are switched over already to the tower frequency at 120.5. San Francisco Tower, Skywest 318, holding short, runway 1 left, ready for departure.
Skywest 318, San Francisco Tower. Runway 1 left, clear for takeoff.
Runway 1 left, clear for takeoff, Skywest 318. Alright, I was expecting him to get us in trouble, but he didn't. And, you know, because he would have said, hey, I told you to go over to mic 1, but we had to go over to mic.
Billings Tower, citation 344
Alright, so we are all set and
ready
ready to go. If there's anything we forgot, then we'll have to get it together.
Runway heading. Runway 28 right, wind 270 at 27.
Alright. Parking brake is released.
Clear for takeoff.
And aircraft is all ready to go.
Right, 4 off whiskey.
Alright, here we go. And Chief Sim Pilot, I don't fly real life yet. I've always wanted to, but I haven't quite got the chance to do it just yet. There we go. Start our timer. I don't know if I clicked the actual timer button, but hopefully we did. Let me try to click it again. Let's come to a little stop here. Just really quick. There we go. And let's go ahead and set that takeoff power. Parking brake is released. All right. Takeoff power is set. Speed is alive.
Clear for whiskey, loud and clear.
I'm still curious. My display down there is not displaying the course. Even though it's been executed, it's in there, so we'll see what's going on. V1.
Departure 4 off whiskey.
And rotate. Alright, we're rotating. Positive rate. Gear is coming up.
Billings departure, citation 344 off whiskey. Just departed Billings.
Alright, one stage of flaps coming up.
Through 5,000 for 7,000.
Bit 344 off whiskey, Billings departure, radar contact.
Alright.
Trying to maintain 15,000.
Let's go ahead and do that autopilot thing.
Up to 15,000 for off whiskey.
Second stage of flaps coming up.
Good evening, concept.
Alright, I'm pulling back on the speed, of course.
2, descending 14,000 with Oscar. Lucas ILS 29
Alright, pretty smooth departure.
Continental 582, approach cross Alta at or above 4,000.
And we will definitely see if we
cross Alta at or above 4,000, clear ILS 29 right approach.
We are on course.
Skywest 318, contact departure.
Over to departure, Skywest 318.
Citation 4 Alpha Whiskey, direct NELP.
Alright, so now what we need to do is come up with a little bit more aggressive of a climb.
Resume moment navigation, whiskey.
So we got to make 3,000 before we get to our first waypoint, which is doing good. Let's switch that over. NorCal departure, Skywest 318, 2.3, climbing via SID.
Skywest 318, NorCal departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 190.
Up to flight level 190, Skywest 318. Alright, so now we're going up to flight level 190. Again, she looks like she's holding on course.
Citation 4 Alpha Whiskey.
But I don't see any, I don't know if it's a glitch, I see no representation of our course here.
33
So
full
let me
off
switch
whiskey.
this profile again. That's the nav 2. This should be FMS. Huh. Let's change the range here. And literally, we're flying blind this time, guys. So we have to trust in our old trusty situation here, because again, now we have a glitch.
11,000.
At 11,000, command.
And we have a glitch. It's following the plan, but we have no type of information in there, so that ought to be interesting.
Maintain 10,000, expect flight level 410, 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 135.5, squawk 5206.
So we're on FMS, vertical speed mode. Speed is looking good. We're going a little bit faster than we should. Now one thing we got to do too is we got to come over here and make sure the aircraft is into the climb mode.
1596, read back correct.
So now we're direct hippie, so it's working, but we just have no visual reference here, so we'll have to really rely on our points, and we're not going to have any type of visual reference or cues when it comes to our situation here. So let me look down here. I don't think there's anything specific here that I would need to change. Never had that glitch before, but we do today. Let's check and see how you guys are doing out there. Again, Chief Sim Pilot, not a real pilot, just a what I call a living room pilot for now. Let's get our landing lights off, and at 10,000, of course, we'll get the rest of them off. Again, flying time here is going to be super short. We're going to rely on air traffic control because we don't have any type of visual cue here since our display is kind of messed up. Throwing a little bit more power in now that we are under the speed limit. Very peculiar. But we'll figure it out. As long as this bad boy is in here, we'll figure it out. We sure don't have any type of visual reference. See, we got everything plugged in there correctly. Again, it's just a glitch. I think it's a glitch we can handle, though. All right, we're getting ready to be passing 9,000. I'm going to pitch the aircraft down so we can speed up a little bit.
Skywest 318, Oakland Center on 132.2.
Oakland Center 132.2, Skywest 318. All right, 1322. So now we can most certainly come over here and put it in here. Here's the other way we're going to be putting it in, but I'm going to show you the only crazy thing is you can put it in here, but you can't switch it over. So 1322 is in there, so I still have to come here and switch it over here, which I think is kind of silly, but whatever. All right, we are at our 280, so now we can increase our pitch again here. All right. Oakland Center Skywest 318, 11.4, climbing up to flight level 190.
Skywest 318, Oakland Center, climb and maintain flight level 210.
Up to flight level 210, Skywest 318. All right, so we got our final here of 210, so we're going to program it in to our target altitude now. And the reason why it's only 21,000 feet, it's a rather short flight today. It would help with some cues here, but obviously we don't have that. Let us... There we go. I figured it out, guys. There's our visual cues. So what I did is I must have, in changing the reins, I must have changed the format here. And so it disappeared our line here, which you see now we have a visual reference. So now we've got our visual cues back on there. So again, if I ever do that again, I know how to do it. If you guys fly this aircraft, you know how to do it as well. Again, we just can't be stopped. We just cannot be stopped. Let's make sure our landing lights are off. which they weren't. Boom, up and clean. I'm so happy now. We have our visual cues, and I think life is going to be okay. So again, if you are flying this aircraft, you'll need to know this is how you change the source to whether it's nav 1, 2, or the FMS. I'm not going to mess with it now because it's following the FMS. The format of this, though, you can mess with this, and then the range, how far is the small knob and the big knob is where I had made my mistake at. So we're good now. We are absolutely good, and I was hoping I didn't have to cancel the next leg for lack of information on board, because in real life you definitely wouldn't fly without that on there either. So
Narcom 89, cleared visual approach, runway 30.
we are looking good. Flaps are up and clean, gear is up, and we're climbing, and we're not doing too bad. Getting in, ready to go into 15,000 feet. We have a climb pitch right now of about 1,800 feet per minute, which is more than copacetic. Again, everybody, welcome on board. We are most certainly on our way to not San Francisco, but leaving San Francisco, going to Reno. You can see back here in the cabin, everything looks nice and calm. Aircraft is keeping the passengers, I guess, somewhat calm back here, because the captain, us, and you, and first officer haven't made them lose their lunch just yet. So there we go. Everything is looking ultra smooth. Back up to the front we go.
Contact from tower 118.2.
And let's increase the range here so we can stay ahead of the aircraft. So now we'll have a 40-mile range so that we can, or nautical miles, so that we can see what's going on with the aircraft. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check how our fuel is doing. Total fuel on board, 4,030 pounds. Everything here is in the green. The aircraft is in the climb profile right now.
Narcom 89, Bozeman Tower, runway 30, clear to land, wind 270 at 27, gust 36.
For now, folks, we're just going to cruise. We are most certainly going to put our altimeters into the standard setting. We're about at 270 on the speed, which is fine. Alright, let me check on my peeps. How about you, Chief Sim Pilot? If you're still here, are you a real world pilot or just a simmer? You going to get your private pilot's license? Kind of hard to do right now. Well, not hard to do, but it's interesting to do right now in our pandemic times. But I've had aspirations to get my actual private pilot's license. But in lieu of that, I do this. So I'm thinking this is a good tiding or holdover for me. We did pass flight level 180 here, so let's put our transition altimeter setting to 299.2 here. And up, and away we go. All right. Well, I just read Chief Sim Pilot's response, and that's impressive. I tell you, working for NASA, that's impressive. I'm impressed. But you know, like me too. You know, I see you don't have it. You're gonna work towards it, and I think that's good. You know, I think sometimes just having a hobby that can fulfill a void is enough for us. But in the back of my head, which I'm you know, my mind, like you, I do want to go ahead and get that private pilot's license. I know we could do it. You know, I know we'll breeze through it. Learn some stuff that we don't know, obviously, from simulator differences to real world. But other than that, I've had real world pilots as well that watch my streams. They can't believe that I'm not a real world pilot, but I'm not. Living room pilot, who just enjoys aviation. If I could do it, I would definitely, for sure, get my hands on my private pilot license. And I appreciate that. Right, same as military, same boat. For sure, absolutely, Chiefs and Pilot. Like I said, you know, in this life, we got to keep our priorities ahead of us. You know, prioritize, triage things in our life. And especially if you got family, you know, all that stuff has to be in moderation, and you got to compromise. And I think at first my wife was like, oh, no, you're not doing that. But she sees that I take this seriously. So I think, you know, she would be on board one day with me getting it. Especially, you know, wishful thinking. But if my business scaled up and was able to get enough revenue built to where it made sense to get an aircraft, then I most certainly will. So we'll see if that even works out. But yeah, thanks for the chat, my brother. That's good to know, and I'm very proud of you, man, for working at NASA. I don't know what you do there, but just by virtue of you being at NASA,
Continental 582, contact Fresno Tower 118.2.
It's amazing. And I know you do something important there. You're working towards your PhD. You're very educated. So, man, kudos to you, my brother.
344 Alpha Whiskey,
you know,
contact.
it's a small world, right? Degrees of separation. Degrees of separation.
3385.
I never knew anybody that worked for NASA, and now I know you. You work for NASA, so there you go. So that's funny.
Continental 582, Fresno Tower, runway 29 right, cleared line.
All right, let me kind of pay attention here to the air traffic control. This is a short flight. We are at our cruising altitude.
Skywest 318, cross Hobo, at and maintain 16,000. Reno altimeter is... I'll stand by for the Reno altimeter. It is 3037.
Okay, cross at and maintain 16,000 at Hobo, and the Reno altimeter is 3037 for Skywest 318. All right, see, just as I said, we should pay attention. We should. So let's get a look at Hobo. Hobo's 68 nautical miles, and we need to drop 5,000 feet. So 5,000 times 3 is 15, so we can start our descent roughly at about 25 nautical miles, so we don't need to belabor it because we're only dropping 5,000 feet. In the meantime, let's get that altimeter in, 3037.
5,000 Jackson altimeter.
Well, actually, not yet, not till we go start our descent and get below 18,000 feet.
And via discretion, maintain 1,000.
So now I'm going to go ahead and program in 16,000 feet.
3010 on the altimeter.
Into the target altitude. So now essentially I put it here in the target altitude, but we have not started our descent yet, folks. We have not by any means started our descent.
Walker 462.
What I'm going to do now, while we have a few miles to bleed,
and then it's filed to climb via the Squawk 6373.
And okay, he's a research specialist, Chief Sim Pilot. Thank you for sharing that. And man, I'm so interested to know exactly what that means, but we'll talk offline. And he's going to take a quick flight out of Mexico here. Check back. Appreciate you. We'll be here for a hot second. Look at that view. You can see those mountains out there. Pretty awesome. All right, so we're definitely getting close here, because if you come and take a look at the scope, there's Reno right there. We got Hobo and 57 nautical miles, so this ought to be interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at our ATIS. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to get the charts for Reno, and then we'll start our descent. We got to cross Hobo at maintain 16,000 feet. No big deal. And we are not using any type of standard terminal arrival into Reno. So, here, let me get you guys a better view. There we go. So, we won't be looking at anything like that. The ATIS is 135.8. So, let's go plug that in, 135.8. So, we're going to go to our COM 2. Going to come right over here. 135.8. Let's switch that over. And let's get this loaded back for comms 1. And let's go ahead and see if we can get that ATIS. Alright, how many miles we got to Hobo? About 50. We're still good. We are still good to go. And if you think about it, Hobo will have that at 16,000 feet, of course, but the elevation in Reno is 4,000 feet, so essentially we're only going to be 12,000 feet above the field once we get to Hobo at 16,000 feet. That's going to be the difference between knowing the actual above ground level versus the above sea level type of altitudes. That's something else you'll have to learn. Let's see how much flying time. Yep, so we got about another 17 minutes and we should be touching down there. Total flying time today was about 36 minutes, so we should be good to go there.
96 solid ground, runway 34 left, taxi via Bravo, Alpha 1.
So I'm trying to log into the ATIS, but
November 344 Alpha Whiskey, advise when you have information. Whiskey for Jackson Airport.
We must be too far, so it's not coming in.
Advise when we get Whiskey on board here, 4 Alpha Whiskey.
A lot of the times Reno lands south anyway.
580, cross runway 29 left, taxi via Bravo
42 nautical miles.
And Bravo 6 to the ramp, remain on this frequency.
Alright folks, we are cruising. Again, this first leg is super short. We're going to land it in Reno.
Bravo 6, have a good night.
And then we are most certainly going to get a quick turnaround for you guys. So I'm trying to look at the weather where we're going, just to give you guys a heads up. Again, this is Skywest flight 318. It's going to be full service from San Francisco to Salt Lake City. We're doing one stop in Reno. I'm essentially right now also getting my flight plan together as well for our next jump. Let's go ahead and get some Reno weather right now. Again, everybody who's staying on the stream, thank you for checking us out and for flying along on this Wednesday stream. So the winds are out of the north, so we'll be landing north. And altimeter is 3037, so he's right there. The winds are at 11 knots. So there you go. So we'll see how this plays out. All right, folks, I think it's safe to say we can go ahead and start the descent. How many miles are we from Hobo? About 30 nautical miles, so that's more than enough. So let's go ahead and put it in the vertical speed mode, dial back the power, and you can see now we're bringing that nose down. So far we got about, and that's right on the money. Right on the money how our descent happened, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So this little arch represents us getting here at 16,000 feet, and we're right on it. So I may pitch us down slightly a little bit more to 1,300 feet per minute just to get it before we get there.
Direct Jackson, 4 Alpha Whiskey.
See if it's going to pitch us down. There we go, 1,300 feet per minute. Now you can see we're getting there. The line is just before there. So now we are descending smartly, of course. We don't know which runway to expect, so what I'll do is I'll just square up that heading. Now on a departure like this that is not a precision approach or arrival into the Reno area, after Waller, the idea is you go directly, once you pass that waypoint, the idea is then you go directly to the airport. Before we do that, he's going to be vectoring me either way it goes, because he knows I have these waypoints plugged in. So I'm not too worried about it. Then once we do that, we'll go ahead and plug in the arrival information here into the FMC, and then we'll have a visual representation of what we should be looking at. Then we'll worry about speeds. Again, worrying about speeds, what I have to do now is estimate the aircraft weight. And you can see here I already have our elevation information in for the field. So now this is where basic math comes in, folks. We left the field at 50,124 pounds. And too bad I already deleted the last flight plan to tell me how much fuel we needed to burn there. But essentially, we don't even need to use that, folks. Here's how we do it. All right, let me slow her down slightly here. Let's decrease the range. There we go. At any rate, So we started out, we had, 5,600 pounds of fuel on board. Let me check that number. And now we're at 33, so essentially minus 2,000. So we're roughly at 48,000 pounds. The reason why I need to know that information is because I got
1596 Salt Lake City Tower. After departure, fly heading 340, runway 34 left, cleared for takeoff.
Now I have to know my landing VREF speeds. So I'm going to estimate we're going to be kind of right in this 48,000 pound range between this. So we'll use numbers between that. I'll probably make my VREF 143. And that looks good. At 30, there's my VREF. So that's essentially, and this is at flaps. You got to make sure it's at the right flaps too, of course. So if we land flaps 30 or 45, it'll be 142. If we land 30, it'll be 150. So I'm landing full flaps. It's kind of windy though, so maybe we'll do 130. But that's kind of fast.
318, contact NorCal approach on 119.2.
Over to NorCal approach, 19.2, Skywest 318. All right, 119.2. Let's make sure we're not bleeding too much speed. All right, 119.2.
Approach Cessna 3996 Delta with request.
3996 Delta, Chinook approach, request.
Just departed crosser en route for Pasco and request flight following the 182 and 3,200 for 3,500.
Number 3996 Delta, squawk 2157, maintain VFR.
2157, maintain VFR for 96 Delta.
NorCal approach, Skywest 318, 16,000.
Delta 1596, contact departure.
March Delta 1596.
Skywest 318, NorCal approach. Roger, verify you have information. Hotel, expect visual approach, runway 34 left.
Okay, we'll get hotel on board and advise you, and we'll expect runway 34 left for Skywest 318.
November 3996 Delta, radar
All right,
contact.
let's get that on board.
The Tri-Cities altimeter 3048
scattered. Temperature 1.2. Altimeter 3037. Visual approach is in use. VFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course heading,
Walker 462, Denver ground, standby.
Get back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact, you have information hotel.
Walker 462, runway 178, taxi via Echo Charlie, Mike 10.
17 right, Echo Charlie, Mike 10 for 27, Walker 462.
Delta 1596, all departure radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Climb and maintain flight level 230, Delta 1596.
318, turn right heading 070, vectors visual approach, descend and maintain 12,000.
Okay, can you give us that vector heading again for Skywest 318?
Skywest 318, turn right heading 070, descend and maintain 12,000.
Okay, 070 on the heading down to 12,000, and we have hotel at Reno for Skywest 318. All right, so we're going to turn right heading 070, and we'll go down to 12,000. All right. So, let's start our descent to 12,000, and again, a lot of stuff happening here really quick.
Number 4 Alpha Whiskey, descend and maintain 13,000.
All right, now we don't care what star we're picking, because it's not gonna matter. Now we'll pick. Well, we can't. No, I guess I just
Delta 1596 clear.
made myself a liar. It is gonna matter.
Direct rocket Delta 1596.
Okay, so let's go back up. So let's delete that, clear that, and let's cancel the mod. And we'll go back to the previous page.
Denver Tower, Walker 462 short at 17 right on Mike 10, ready for departure. Walker 462, Tower runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
Okay, so at this point,
right, clear for takeoff. Walker
at this point, all I care about is getting the star in there. So let's pick the Keno 2 and let's see if that's not what I wanted. Let's go back up. We got to pick one that works. There we go. ILS 34 left. That's all we care about. And then on the approach for ILS 34 left, we can take it from APME. Now we can execute that. And essentially I'm just using this for a visual reference, or if we need to get some landing information on board. So now you can see he's probably going to come here and swing us back around to the right while we're descending, so that's okay. And we'll bring that speed back a little bit. Now we can come here and do this so that we can declutter what we're looking at. So next, my bad. What? So nope. The next one is going to be this one. Boom. Now we can execute that. Now the map shouldn't look that bad at all. There you go. Now we can tell this thing to go. Let's look at our speed here. We're at 12,000. Start dialing it back.
Skywest 318, turn right, heading 140. Vectors visual approach. Descend and maintain 10,000.
140 on the heading, down to 10,000. Vectors for approach. Skywest 318.
November 4 Alpha Whiskey to Jackson Airport is 12 o'clock and 25 miles. Report in sight.
Lot to do. So we're going over to 140.
Walker 462,
down
contact
to
departure.
0,000.
Departure, Walker 460. Delta 1596, contact Salt Lake City Center on 135.77.
Center 135.77.
All right, again, a lot going on here. Speed is slow, which I like.
Departure, Walker 462, 6,700, climbing via SID. Walker 462, Denver departure.
Now one last thing we need to do is put in our 109.9 frequency here.
Walker 462.
So if we come right on over here, let's check our speed. We're doing good on speed. And let's come over here, 1099.
1596, Salt Lake City Center, climb and maintain flight level 410.
9. There we go.
Skywest 318, turn right heading 160, airport 3 o'clock, 5 miles, report in sight.
Right, 160, and we'll report to field once we have it in sight, Skywest 318. All right, so let's go 160 on the heading. And then now we can also take this and go to the nav mode, nav 1.
Chinook approach, Cessna 39er 6 Delta with information X-ray.
96 Delta, roger.
All right, trying to get a visual on that field.
November 4 Alpha Whiskey, cleared visual approach, runway 19.
There it is, right there, guys. It's right there. Skywest 318 has a visual of the field.
Skywest 318, cleared visual approach, runway 34 left.
Clear visual approach 34 left, Skywest 318. All right, so he's giving us the visual. So now we still need to play it smart. Let's also get our tower frequency plugged in, which is 118.7. Before we do anything, we got to stay ahead of the aircraft. So 118.7.
Delta 9 miles west of the field, inbound with X-ray.
3996 Delta, Tri-Cities Tower, roger, enter right downwind, runway 21 left.
There's our tower frequency.
Downwind, runway 21 left for 9.
And let's see here. At APME 10,500, so we're good.
Terminated, contact Jackson Tower, 118.07.
So let's see visually if we want to have some fun, guys. We can. I'm going to swing the aircraft through this little valley right here all the way around, and we're going to drop our speed and come back in. Let's see how far that field is at. It's way over here. We should be fine. You guys want to have some fun? Let's do a full visual approach here, guys.
Jackson Tower, citation 344.
Let's look at our speed here. Okay.
To the north, inbound, visual 19.
And VREFs.
344 off Whiskey Jackson Tower.
It's 143 or 150
wind
plus.
2708, gust 18.
So I think I'm going to go at 143.
Clear to land, 19er, 4 off Whiskey.
Runway should be long enough, no matter what. So then we'll be on a heading of 164. Missed approach altitude is Missed approach altitude 11,000. So let's get that in there first for our missed approach altitude of 11,000, since we are doing a full visual. All right, folks, let's look at that valley. Make sure we don't hit it. We're going to swing around through here and come all the way around, folks. All right. Autopilot is disconnected. And we're going to do full visual, folks. And we can essentially keep this altitude right here.
462, contact Denver Center, 127.02.
So I got to do my best to keep this altitude right at about 10,000. Once I get around this mountain,
462, Denver
it'll
Center,
be all good.
maintained by level 340. Number 96 Delta, runway 21 left, cleared to land, wind 23010.
Runway 21 cleared to land.
All right, one thing that we can do, let's get our lights on. All right, folks, looking good. We're gonna do a flight simulator at 4723. How you doing? Yo, yo, yo. Right now, we are on visual approach, runway 34 left into the Reno area. All right, and let's get our taxi going on, and then we got to figure out the gate we're supposed to go to is Charlie 1. Terminal's super small though, so no big deal there. All right, I think we can make our turn around our mountain here.
Skywest 318, contact Reno Tower, 118.7.
118.7 to Reno Tower, Skywest 318. All right, let's double check that's what we got. See, staying ahead of the aircraft helps out. Reno Tower, Skywest 318, visual 34 left.
Skywest 318, Reno Tower, runway 34 left, clear to land, wind 33011.
34 left, clear to land, Skywest 318. All right, folks. We are basically on a base turn. If you look at our visual representation here, I'll zoom in with my hat. Down there, we're on our base turn. We're getting ready to turn right to final. And that's what we're doing now. Right through this valley. Then we should be able to get a visual on the actual runway there. There we go. Just want to keep my nose up slightly there. All right, trying to keep a little visual out there, and I see the field. All right, folks, we're going to start descending. We're going to go one stage of flaps down. And prepare the cabin for arrival. There is the field there. I have runway 34 left in sight clearly. Again, at flaps 45, our V approach will be roughly around 150 due to these winds. All right, coming back on that speed a little bit. I'm trimming the plane down so we keep a nice little descent profile on this visual approach. Let's see, I gotta check and see what the ground frequency is here. Ground frequency is 121.9. I don't know if we're gonna mess with that. All right, we're dropping speed down now. All the landing lights are on, of course. We have our flaps 8 in there. We're getting a little haze there, but that's okay. All right, we're bringing that speed back. And again, we're just doing this all visual. So again, ground is 121.9. All right. Let's come up a little bit. Okay, gear is coming out. Now, one thing we have to do as well, we got to arm our auto throttles. We're not auto throttles, but our reversers. Landing gear is down in 3 green. Coming another stage of flaps down. Trimming the plane down, of course. Bleeding that speed as you guys can see. Alright, we're bleeding speed, of course. And we got a nice little lineup for runway 34 left. Just bleeding some more speed before I throw in more flaps. Alright, another stage of flaps coming in. Alright, full stage flaps coming in. We'll see how she handles. She's not doing too bad. We'll keep the V approach speed right here. Throwing in some more power, of course. All right, coming back on that power. Glad to see you're doing good, Flight Simulator 4723. All right, bringing that power down slightly. All right, we're on the glide slope. Our speed is looking good. Perfect glide slope right there, as you can see. Let's pitch our nose up slightly. All right, we're a little low. There we go. Throw in just slight of power. It's saying glide slope. That's okay though. Looking good on the speed. All right, we buttered it, of course. All right. All right, I don't know what happened to my reversers, but they acted like they didn't want to work, so we just did a little bit of ABS wheel brakes ourselves. We had a butter landing. So, once again, we're probably not going to do a replay on this, so in case the sim messes up. But we could most certainly turn right off the runway here after our butter landing. All right, let's come right off of here on Delta. So that was a nice visual approach. Let's go landing gear all the way up. Alright, so we're on Delta, holding short of Bravo. Reno Tower, Skywest 318, clear runway 34 left, on Delta, holding short Bravo. Alright, let's get that APU on. Woohoo! We did it.
Skywest 318, taxi to terminal via Delta Alpha, monitor ground.
Okay, Delta Alpha to the ramp, monitor ground, Skywest 318. Alright, so let's get our landing lights off and of course our strobe off. And let's get all these wonderful things off.
Walker 1596, contact
Keep our landing.
133.67.
That's the APU kicking over. Alright, and let's taxi into the gate, folks.
Delta 1596, contact Denver Center 133.67.
Alright, so let's come in here and do a quick turnaround. Once we get across here, we'll go ahead and switch over to ground. Alright, and then I'll get to you guys in the comments. But that was a fun visual approach. There was a lot going on.
Correction, Denver Center, thank you.
Alright.
396, Tri-City Tower.
Let me turn this aircraft around and let me look for Charlie 1. Where is it at? Okay, it's on the first concourse on the innermost part. Gotcha. So that's another thing I need a first officer for. Alright, so yay, Butter. Thanks, honey. I appreciate that. Butter is what we were looking for, and butter is what we got, thanks to you guys. Alright, let's get in here. Oh, and we need to also put in our radio frequency, of course, the correct one. So let's do a little coast, so we don't want to get in trouble. So 121, oops, delete that, clear that, 121.9, and we'll enter that in there. And don't try that at home, guys. That's why you need that first officer. Let's switch that over. Oops, we didn't want to ident, but we actually did again. I'm like, why does this guy keep identing? Because I'm blind and pushed the wrong button. Alright, there goes the G concourse C1. Let's roll right in there. Alright, so that's what we look like. She's rolling right in. Still got our taxi light on, of course, and our red beacon. Alright, and it actually looks like there is somebody in our gate. But that's alright. So we'll be doing a super quick turnaround here. We're going to get the passengers off, of course. And looks super busy over here. So, and our gate is taken. Our gate is all the way where that United aircraft is over there. And don't forget, we're flying Skywest, but for United. So these are the right gates. So we're going to have to borrow this gate here, which is 7. We really wanted C1, but in that corner it didn't look good. So let's come right over here into this gate. We're still in the United terminal, so that's okay. Alright. Let's look here, make sure we have a nice approach speed. So we're on the line. We just need to get us up to the first line because I can't see. Alright, there we go, folks. Without further ado, let's get that landing light off. Let's go ahead and come up top, get that APU generator on. Give it a second here. Let's do the bleeds and the valves, turn the generators off. And now we can shut the aircraft off, of course. And let's get our red beacon off. And aircraft is coming off. Alright, guys, we have made it into the Reno area for our first stop, ATC. We're going to get this to standby, so we're no longer squawking ATC. Let's go back and get the door open for the passengers to most certainly disembark the aircraft. Alright, passengers can now start disembarking, of course. And let's go up top and turn the rest of our stuff off. Turn our fuel pumps off. And we'll turn our hydraulics off. We'll leave that on. APU's on and available. Pumps are off. Generators are off, so it's all good. Alright, engines are down and clean. So let's go ahead and stay on PilotEdge, but we'll turn the speakers off. And let's go back out now and just take a quick look and see how the passengers will be disembarking. And as you can see there, there's the door. Wonder if that thing actually came all the way down. Let's come back here and just re-verify that. There we go. It didn't look like it was all the way down to me. But now it's all the way down. We got a quick turnaround here, so there you go. It's kind of loud out here. Alright, let's come back in here and get some jams on. See how I'll check in with you guys and keep it rolling. Alright, we got some jams going on. Yay, Butter Landon. How's everybody doing? We're doing well. Flight Simulator 4723. Here we go for a quick turnaround. Again, Happy New Year to you, and glad everybody's joining. Let's go ahead and make this happen so we can get up out of here really quick and make this next leg a reality. I did not mean to do that. Alright, so here's our flight plan. We already have it in here, and let's see. So 429 minutes. If you guys look at the summary here, flying time on this one is going to be. Oh, actually, we didn't even file this one yet. So let's file this. Let's make this happen and see what the actual flying time is. Really quick. Also, let me come over here. I forgot to stop the clock. There we go. We reset it for our next flight. So flying time wasn't too bad, and we did a visual. So let's get that flight plan going back again, so we can roll up out of here. All right. So hour and 6 minutes of flying time. Here's our route again. Direct blackjack. We don't have any type of departure. Again, we can also, what I like to do as well anyway, is reference this on the actual FlightAware as well. And this one, they actually doesn't look like they use the CRJ2, but we're going to use it anyway. And here's the Skywest here, flight level 310, so that's what we'll file. And this is what they're taking here. So this is actually P-Vine, and this was today, Wednesday. Boom, boom, boom. So we can also come back over here and edit the flight. Then we can essentially look at that P-Vine. Boom, boom, boom. This is the one we want. 429 nautical miles. That's what they're taking. And then we're going to say we want flight level 310. And let's always do 500 extra pounds of fuel. Now I like that, folks. That'll give us some good information. We'll go throw some fuel on board really quick. Alright, there you go. Fuel on board, we need 5812, so let's make that happen right now. So we need 5812 on the fuel. We can't play around. Alright, so 5831 looks good to me. Done. Apply changes. Now the aircraft is just getting its fuel on board, and now we can most certainly start plugging in this route. And we know 34 left is going to be our departure runway, so this is going to be our route here. So before we even plug that in, let's go ahead and put this into our PilotEdge flight plan so that we stay compliant. Sorry I couldn't do this ahead of time because we didn't get here yet, so we'll do it together. Reno, KSLC. The alternate is KEVW. Altitude is going to be 31,000 feet. Flying time we said was hour and 6 minutes. Hour and 6 minutes, and fuel on board that we have is 2 hours and 40 minutes. All right. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Let's check it out. CRJ2 Slant Lima on the information. Reno to Salt Lake. And we need to get rid of this, of course. That's a problem. Now we need to get rid of anywhere where it says DCT, which is direct. P-Vine, Pygal, BAM, J154, BVO, what's 5? Boom, boom, boom. Everything looks good. 31,000 feet. There's our alternate. There's our flying time. There's fuel on board. So now we're legit. So now let's come back down here now, and we can go to flight plan. Now we can do delete. Let's see. Might not work for that side, so let's do a delete again. Hit there. If not, we're just going to switch it up. Okay, it's no worries there. There is a way to do all of these. So let's see. FMS. Oh, now what we can also do, since we're actually burning fuel, we need to, I'm glad I came down here, we need to go to this plane menu and get the ground power on so we're not burning our APU fuel. And we can close that for now and turn the power off. Now we're on ground power, not to burn our fuel, which we need to check on that. How much did we burn there? Fuel, it says we still only have 4220, so that's not right, folks. Let's go on here once again and redo the fuel. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll replan it again. Weight and balance, fuel. Nope, we want 58 again. Here, let's go for 59 is fine. Done. Apply changes. All right, now we got it on there, so that was crazy. Good thing we checked that, because I would have took off thinking we already did it. But now we got our fuel on board, which is good. So now we can come down here and again go back down to the flight plan. We could do, let's see, let's delete that, clear that. Now let's go KR NO, bam, and then we're doing KSLC, boom. Now we can literally, let's see here, that's going to be in there. So now we just need to go into the flight plan and start deleting items. Let's delete that. Execute that. And there's nothing else in there, so that's good. Departure and arrival. We are departing on the P-Vine. No active runway, no worries. 34 left, P-Vine, and then we're doing Pygal as a rusty dusty. So now over to the flight plan. Let's clear that out. Okay, the flight number is going to be the same thing. We're doing Skywest 318. Boom. Let's go to the next page and check that out. Here's our delete, which we don't need to worry about. We're just going to write over that. After Pygal, the next waypoint, and I'll get this out of our way. After Pygal, the next waypoint is BAM. So let me get this up to my second screen so we can just get it rolling. BAM. Bam. Up, invalid entry. So let's execute this first. Now let's go to legs really quick. Go next. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Execute that. Now we can come back over to the flight plan. We're not playing games, folks. Now we can add the BAM in. It's always something, but you gotta figure out a way, and it's 145 nautical miles away. After BAM, we're doing a jetway or an airway of 154. And then from jetway 154 is BVL. And then from BVL, it's the Watts 5. Let's execute that. Let's go back to our departure and arrival. And we're doing the Watts 5. And let's go see what that transition is. It should be the BVL. Watts 5. next. Okay, no transition. It's not even offering a transition, so that's cool. Let's execute that. Go back to the flight plan and take a look at that. And then there's the Watts 5. So there's a whole route, folks. We're expecting, again, 1-3. We're going to have to get the ATIS. So, with that being said, you guys know what we need to do. So we're about the same pounds as where we were last time. So actually, these V-speeds are actually going to work for us, because essentially, the only one we need to change is the 190, because we're not flying at altitude 21,000 feet. So for the takeoff, same area we were at last time. We calculated between 49,000 and 51,000. That speed now, since we're traveling between flight level 310 and 350, is going to be 210. So let's get that to 210. So this is actually going to kind of work out, folks. So there you go, 210. We'll take off same flaps. Here is our route, and it's already in there. We love it. We like it. We want more of it. I think, folks, we can go ahead and pretty much call for our taxi now, or our clearance. So let me pull that up, and we're out of here, folks. All right. So clearance here is 124.9. So 124.9, we shall come to you. 124.9. Boom, 124.9, and then again the tower frequency or ground frequency is 1219, which is already in there. And so let's get our clearance and see what they say. What that means is no more musica. So let's turn the music down, or off I should say, and let me pull up my flight plan here so I know what they're referencing. Alright, let's get our comms back on, folks. Alright, going back to VHF1.
369 Bravo, contact NorCal departure.
Alright, we are about to get out of here, folks. Thanks for staying on board. We're not doing too bad. Reno clearance, Skywest 318, IFR, Salt Lake City.
NorCal departure, citation 369 Bravo's with you at 3000.
Citation 369 Bravo, NorCal departure. Radar contact, turn left, heading 040. Vector for Sacramento, climb maintain 12000.
Mess with that.
Turning left to heading 040
Let's
and climbing
see
to 12000.
if she comes on
Bravo.
to let us know.
Skywest 318, Reno clearance. Good evening. Clear to Salt Lake City International Airport. P53 departure. PIGO transition as filed. Calling via SID. Expect flight level 31010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 119.2. Squawk 3674.
Clear to Salt Lake City is filed. P-Vine SID with the PIGO transition. Climb via SID. Expect flight level 31010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 19.2, squawking 3674, Skywest 318.
Skywest 318, read that correct. Expect runway 34 left.
Okay, we'll be expecting that, Skywest 318. Alright, so just like we said, everything is looking good. We even put the right runway in. Let's get our squawk code updated, and we're out of here, folks. So we're going to come over right over here. Our new squawk code is 3674. So let's adhere to that so we don't get a timeout. And then we need to plan our better pushback, and we're out of here. 3674 on the squawk. Now we can essentially come over here as well. Switch it over to ground. The tower frequency, of course, back to my accents, is going to be 118.7. So let's get that put in there. You guys you know how I roll, so you know the next thing we're going to put in is our departure frequency on COM2 standby. You got to click this little 1-2 that switches to the COM2. That's what I'm pushing if you guys can't see it. Now we're over here. Now that's the ATIS, which we're going to leave that there, but I essentially want to just get our departure frequency, which is, she said 119.2. So essentially, actually, we were okay. We can just put it in the standby over here. And let's go to 2. Alright, 119.2 is in. 3674 is in our squawk code, so we're good there. And it's still on standby. Man, guys, we're basically ready to leave. The trims are looking good. Let's do our better pushback. Let's plan that. And we're out of here. Super quick turnaround, guys. So essentially, we are going to want to get pushed back here. And we'll have it push us right back on here. Hopefully none of that company... Oops. Yeah, that's close enough. I wanted it right on the line. So when we push back, it'll be just left of the line. That was my fault. We don't need to redo it.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
All right, now lastly but leastly, and I don't have to share this with you guys, but you know what? Again, I will, because I could just say it. You guys know I'm going to be on it. But here is our actual departure. Now, on this chart, you see there's a different NorCal departure frequency. Well, when they give you a separate one, you don't pay any attention to that. And they said climb via SID, so top altitude is 19,000 feet, so we need to get that in there. And then we are going to Pygal, so we have to be above everything, so we don't have to be below anything, so that makes it easy for us to climb. And leaving runway 34 left. Climb heading 344 to 49, then direct P-line, so that's it. So 344 and 19,000 is what we're looking for. 344 and 19,000. So let's get 19,000 in there. 19,000 in there, and now let's get the heading to 344. Hopefully we can do a visual approach into Salt Lake City to our Atlanta Airport. Hope everybody's doing good. We're almost out of here and back in the skies.
Landing runway 26 and runway 3. You can expect runway 26.
All right, we got our heading of 344, and if you guys were wondering what I was doing, I was getting all the target heading and the altitude for the top of our climb there. And then, of course, let's get rid of some of this stuff here. So when we take off, we'll definitely want to do heading. And then we'll do the vertical speed mode again. Of course, we will do a ascent about 2,200 feet. So essentially what I did is, again here, I've got us ascending up to 2,200 feet per minute. So now we can get the door closed. Let's get it back on the FMS, of course.
Clear direct to Sacramento.
FMS. Now we need to rearm the nav because I essentially had it. There we go. Nav is armed and vertical speed is armed. So when we hit our actual autopilot once again, we'll go right up to a nice little profile. So with that being said, let's come up top and let's get our APU on. So we are going to hit the power feature here and then start stop. That's going to get the APU going on, and we're also going to turn our red beacon on. So we'll wait for that to come on. In the meantime, let's go to the back and make sure we have the door closed. Sorry, it's going to slam in our face. All right, door is closed. You can hear that APU coming out there. All right, there we go. We have the APU going on, so let's connect that generator. Get the isolation valve open. We're going to get rid of the ground power and turn on our hydraulic pumps. And we'll get these pumps on. Everything is looking good here. Let's go to our FMC menu and get rid of the actual ground power unit, flight plan. And then as we're pushing back, we'll get the ATIS because we still need to make sure we get that in terms of what the temperature is for our takeoff power. So now better push back here. We're going to start it.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, tow is driving up. Let's turn on our comms too.
Temperature 1, dew point 2, altimeter 3039er. Arriving and departing runways 34 right, 34 left. Visual approach is in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested.
Here's
Read
our guy
back all
pushing us
runway
back.
assignments and hold order instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information India.
So we have India.
Reno Tahoe International Airport. ATIS information India. 0155 Zulu. Wind 320 at 10. Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature 12.
Okay, all
2.2.
So
Altimeter
temperature is 12.
3039er. Arriving and departing runways 34 right.
Alright, so now that we're done there, remember how I switched it over? So now, let's go ahead and switch that over, just in case we use COM 2 on our departure. But I usually switch it over.
Adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Alright, parking brake is released. We've got the ATIS. Now what we need to do is come in here to our thrust, or our perf. Thrust limit, and we need to change this. The temperature was 12 Celsius. 12 Celsius. Now we go back to takeoff. There we go. Last time we never even got into the cruise, but that's okay.
Starting pushback.
Because essentially things happened so quickly that we didn't even know what to do with ourselves. So anyway, our takeoff thrust is set. Our legs are set. Let's go to our previous menu. Here we go. P-Vine, do-do-do. We're taking off heading 334. That's funny how this says 184. That's strange. Okay, I know what that is. So it's funny, this thing even has you travel south 184 to get to the runway. So it's even telling us how to get to the runway, and it's 1 nautical mile away. I think that's pretty cool.
So the 1596 contact, Denver
Let's see
approach
what the tower sees here.
120.35.
Oh, the tower sees nothing. You guys see that? That's pretty amazing. Scenery here. Look at this guy. I think he's let's look at this guy for a second. Look at his life. He's really pondering his life right now, and he looks a little lost. But anyway, enough of that. There's a bunch of guys out here pondering their lives. Look at that. Busy as they can be.
Denver approach at Kaylee. Clear
Alright, folks.
16 left approach.
Again, not doing too bad at all.
Foxtrot.
I'm assuming she's going to give us alpha for the taxi. That's super easy. Alright, while she's pushing us back, isolation valves are on. Everything is good to go.
Welcome 462, contact
Make sure they get clear. I like to start the engines afterward.
Parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, they're disconnecting the tow so we can get the right engine
Upper
started.
Channel 1462,
Ignition,
14,300, descending to India 3 arrival.
Welcome 462, Albuquerque approach.
Here we go. Again, we're taking off flaps 20.
Altimeter 3014, the approach left.
We just did a visual for 26. Would be great.
Really
For
quick
walk
turnaround. As you can see, we have a good visual reference of what we're doing on departure. Alright, let's introduce that fuel.
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left.
I got us about a
462,
2400.
Roger, after cadet, fly heading 120, vector visual approach runway 26, and
Alright, we got the left side engine coming up now.
hopefully we'll get the field outside prior to that.
Okay, sound good. After cadet, fly heading to 120, visual approach for 26 for walk 462.
Flaps 20 is selected. We'll make sure it's indicating, which it is.
Okay, 462, change your plan here. After cadet, fly heading 170.
170 after cadet for walk 462.
Alright. Alright, folks, so we're going to be out of here really quickly.
NorCal approach 127.4.
We definitely have the left side stabilizing. Before I try to throw on the generators and turn off the APU, I'm going to make sure this stabilizes or we're going to get a ding. Alright, ITT is stabilizing. Let's go ahead and jump back up top now. And let's get our generators on. Turn the APU generator off. There's the ding, close the isolation valve. Stop the APU. And turn the power off and turn our ignitions off.
Bravo, NorCal approach.
And everything else is looking good. Beacons on, navs on, strobe is off. And let's call for our taxi.
We do have Quebec, descend and maintain 3000. If possible, would like the ILS for runway 35 left.
Alright, just waiting on his transmission. Reno ground, Skywest 318 with information India on board is ready to taxi.
So 36 Niner Bravo at Sacramento. Cleared ILS from
Alright, here we go guys for our second level of fun.
Cross Sacramento at or above 4000, then cleared for the ILS runway 35 left, 36 Niner Bravo.
Skywest 318 Reno ground, runway 34 left. Taxi via Alpha, cross runway 25 at Alpha.
34 left, taxi via Alpha, cross runway 25 at Alpha for Skywest 318. Alright, so we have our taxi instructions, too easy. Let's go ahead and get out of here, folks. There is our landing lights, our trims are good, it's 6.9, flaps are selected, and we can also get arm all this stuff just in the off event that we need it. Let's do our flight controls check, which we didn't do last time. Shame on us. Full down, full up, aileron left, aileron right, rudder left, and rudder right. Okay, guys, I think we're good to go. Let me fix my situation up here. And look left and look right, and let's go down here and release that parking brake, and here we go, folks. Alright, not a bad turnaround. We'll get our clock going once we depart. Super simple taxi. This is Alpha right away right here. If we were to go straight into the next intersection, that would be Bravo. And then we would be in the wrong. Then we're already been approved across runway 25, which is good. Alright, and this goes all the way down, folks. So,
Albuquerque Center, walk 460, we got the field tight.
again, welcome back on board for Skywest 318.
Okay, 462, there's a
Full service from San Francisco to Salt Lake City. We stopped in Reno. Passengers disembarked. Passengers got on.
Albuquerque Tower, walk 460, cleared for the visual 26.
Okay, 462 Albuquerque Tower, join the right downwind runway 26, clear to land.
Alright, rolling right along here again. Thanks everybody for riding on board. We are most certainly going to head over to
Delta 1596, contact
the Salt Lake City area. Hopefully we can get us another visual approach.
Denver Tower, 1596, ILS runway 16 left, request a long roll out if possible.
Delta 1596, Denver Tower, wind 26015, runway 16 left, clear to land, long landing approved.
Clear to land, left, long landing approved, Delta 1596.
Alright, we're going to be crossing runway 25 here. Let's get our landing lights on really quick, since we are crossing an active runway. Look right, look left, it's clear. Alright, let's throw that strobe on, since we're crossing the runway. Alright, strobe comes back off, landing lights come up. Gonna get that message, which that's usually just a cue when the aircraft lands. So let's just keep it rolling. Alright.
I'm going to Sacramento Capital Tower, 3 Channel Bravo.
All the way down. See, flight director is set. Flaps are to 20. We'll get the lights on. MCP is all set up with the target altitude. The route has been confirmed. Alright, we're scooting right along.
Sacramento Capital Tower, citation 369 Bravo is on a 6-mile final on the ILS runway 35 left.
Alright, at this point we can go ahead and switch over to tower.
36 Center Bravo, Capital Tower, runway 35 left, clear to land, wind 2407.
35 left, clear to land, 36 Center Bravo.
And let's make sure tower is 118.7, which it is. Now we can put our departure frequency in of 119.2. Just double check, make sure we're not going to crash here. Just letting her coast, multitasking. Alright, so 119. This is where that first officer would be handy. 2, there we go. And we didn't manage to crash, so that's good. We got our departure frequency in, so we can almost do a rolling takeoff here. You guys want to do a rolling takeoff? I'm down with that. We don't even need to stop. Everything is squared away. Let's just double check that departure frequency. 119.2 is in there. And 119.2 is what we needed. Let's make sure we got our up. We're not squawking Charlie, so now we're squawk ready. 3674 is the squawk code. 3674, we're good to go. We are squawking now. The ground controller should have caught that, but the tower definitely would have caught that. Once we make our perpendicular turn towards the runway, we will most certainly go ahead and let them know we are ready for departure, and we're off and at them, folks. Again, nice turnaround here in the Reno area. Nice visual approach that we took. I tell you though, these short flights are awesome for brevity, but they're chaos on the pilot, especially when you don't have a co-pilot and you're flying a jet like this. You saw there was a lot going on. Reno Tower, Skywest 318, holding short, runway 34 left, ready for departure.
Skywest 318, Reno Tower, runway 34 left, clear for takeoff.
34 left, clear for takeoff, Skywest 318. Alright, so, with the spirit of that, landing lights on, strobe on. Alright, final looks clear, runway looks clear. Getting ready to hit that runway, so let's hit our chronometer. Booyah! Chronometer is active. We're almost getting ready to just set takeoff power, folks, and do this. We're not scared. Let's line ourselves up with this rusty, dusty runway. Takeoff power is set. Throwing in a little bit of right rudder. I can tell she's slightly more sluggish than last time. We got a few extra pounds of fuel in there.
Foxtrot 1, parking Alpha Sierra.
Alright, just keep an eye lead here, keeping it center line.
Go to 1596, taxi.
Alright, coming up on V1 and rotate.
And monitor ground, have a wonderful day.
Alright. Foxtrot 1, Golf, monitor ground, you as well, level 15.
Positive rate. Gear is coming up. Just hand fly it here for a second.
Contact NorCal departure.
Over to NorCal departure, Skywest 318. Alright, we've got a seamless takeoff. Flaps are coming up.
International Tower, I'm Bravo's off runway 35 left at Alpha 10, looking to taxi to the transit parking off of Bravo 2.
Walker 4622, taxi to terminal via Alpha.
Gear is up.
Turning a trace to the
Flaps are coming all the way up here. You're seeing them reduced
Alpha
here.
to the ramp, thanks, have a good day.
You'll see the speed pick up.
Walk 462.
NorCal departure, Skywest 318, 6.3, climbing via SID.
Actually, you can continue on Bravo 1, joins directly to Bravo 2, to the ramp and monitor ground. Have a wonderful day.
Alright, let's turn those taxi lights off.
Alpha to Bravo 1, then to Bravo 2. You have a good day too, 36 Bravo.
There's 6 Center Bravo. I believe you requested Bravo 2, so you're on Alpha 10 now.
Gotta wait there.
If you just continue on Alpha 10 a little further, you'll see Bravo 2 right directly ahead of you.
You are correct. That's Bravo 2. Thanks a lot. 36 on Bravo. And monitor ground or status frequency?
You can monitor ground. Thanks.
Very good. Have a good one. Going to ground 36 on Bravo.
NorCal departure, Skywest 318, 8.2, climbing via SID.
Skywest 318, NorCal departure, thank you, radar contact.
Alright, we are radar contact and climbing. Again, we're climbing up to 19,000 feet as you see here. That is representative in about 20 nautical miles we'll be there. At this current, we're kind of speeding a little bit, so let me pull back on that speed. We shouldn't be over 250 until we get to 10,000, so oops. We're getting ready to go to where we can turn off the landing lights. Alright, there's that 10,000 mark there, folks. Now I can pick up the speed, of course. Landing lights are coming off. Everything up here is clean and off. There's no indicators up here. There's no message here on the ECAS. Alright. I'm going to throw in a little bit more power. And, of course, we need to go over here and go to perf. Again, always so busy. Now, we got to remember to go into our cruise. Alright, we are climbing our little hearts away. Once we get high enough, she's going to go ahead and switch us over to Oakland Center, and then they'll give us higher, so we'll stay here for now. Alright, folks, glad to see that you guys are still on board. We are still rolling, still very much active here. We're looking good. Alright. Watching our speed there. This thing has some power. Continue our climb here. Once we start bleeding speed at this power setting, then that's an indicator that I need to go ahead and pitch down a little bit. So far she's climbing pretty well. Let's increase that range here. So the inner ring here is 40 nautical miles away from us, and the outer ring is 80 nautical miles. So we can kind of see what's coming ahead of us, of course. Once we make our turn, we'll square up that heading. We'll most certainly have a little bit more time to cruise this time. Alright, we'll see at the next field if we get that reverse going. So now we can essentially disarm these. Alright.
Skywest 318, contact Oakland Center 132.905.
Oakland Center 32.95, Skywest 318. Alright.
Correction, we've had 133.905.
133.905 for Skywest 318. Alright.
Okay, 169, contact
133.905. Plug it in. And let's switch it over. Oakland Center, Skywest 318, flight level 182, climbing flight level 190. Alright, she did say 133.905. Oakland Center, Skywest 318, checking in flight level 190. Alright, I think she gave us the wrong frequency again. Locale departure, Skywest 318. We plugged in 133.95 for Oakland Center and didn't get anything. Is that still the right frequency, ma'am? Okay, there might be a PilotEdge comms.
Skywest 318, I apologize. I second guessed myself and I gave the wrong frequency as right the first time. 132.905.
Hey, no worries there. We'll go over to 132.905 Skywest 318. Alright, so, no worries. Everybody's human. All I know is that we're not getting in trouble. So, again, you know, you got to give them that respect too. Everybody's human. Oakland Center, Skywest 318, checking in flight level 190.
Walker, 1 discussion. Skywest 318. Skywest 318. Oakland Center, good evening. Climbing maintain flight level 310.
Alright, good evening, and we're up to flight level 310, Skywest 318. Alright, so now we got the
Who is calling short final?
Now we have the confusion taken care of. Alright, just working on getting that 310 plugged in. Right over here and managing the speed, which we're doing good. We've got a climb of about 2,000 feet per minute, which we'll adjust. Let's check our fuel burn here. Alright, we're definitely going to burn more than we did on the last hop. And we are direct to BAM! So guys, looking good here on our ascent. We did get our altimeters into the standard pressure, 299.2. Again, all lights are off, and we'll just monitor the aircraft until we get to our cruise. Then we'll start doing some planning. Boy, it's been a busy time here. Let's go ahead and go outside and get us a flyby view. She is flying. Alright, let's see what those old passengers see. Pretty nice view there. Let's check the other side of the aircraft. Pretty nice view there. Who knew? Alright, enough of that. And again, I apologize for not doing a replay on the first landing, but I usually have some bad luck when it comes to the simulator doing something funky because it went back and did a replay. Alright, we're going to nose down slightly here. We'll bring our climb speed, vertical speed to about 1700, which is indicated right here. And we'll keep that until it makes sense to reduce it again. Alright, but we're cruising right along right now. Again, flying time here is about 1 hour and 6 minutes, and we've already got 11 of those minutes squared away. So we're under an hour of flying time at this point. And looking good. We're just going to monitor the aircraft into the climb phase and then make sure we get it into cruise power for the engines and make sure our power is set so that we maintain a safe speed, meaning not to overstress the aircraft by overspeeding. Let's work on some lighting in here. It's a slightly dark. Flood. Okay, what else do we got here for lighting? I don't really fly this aircraft at night, so just looking for the lights here. Anything to make the, here we go. I knew it was on the center pedestal, but I just didn't know where.
Walker 169 contact, Salt Lake Center 125.57.
2557, Walker 169.
Skywest 318 contact, Salt Lake Center 128.72.
Salt Lake Center 28.72. Skywest 318. We'll see you next time. Alright, so 2872.
Salt Lake Center, Walker 169, call level 240.
Alright, 128.72.
Salt Lake Center, thank you. Altimeter 3033, landing south.
33, we'll expect south, transition Walker 169.
Salt Lake City Center, Skywest 318, flight level 280, climbing flight level 310.
Skywest 318, Salt Lake Center, thank you.
Alright, we're almost there. We're less than 3,000. We're doing Mach 0.71. That's a good climb speed, of course. Alright, I brought the nose down just literally for the vertical speed.
Delta 169, correction, Walker at 169, cross jamming at maintain
Alright, we're now at 1,300 feet per minute.
17,000, Walker 169.
What that does is we'll still climb, but the engines don't have to work so hard to keep an aggressive pitch because the air is much thinner at this altitude. So, alright, let's check in. Let's check in. Everybody's doing good. Thanks for staying on board, of course. We are cruising right along. I'm enjoying you guys cruising along here. And yeah, we could just chat it up, talk about some things here. All right, we got about 1,000 to go. We should be getting a audible noise. And I guess no audible noise. Usually at 1,000 feet to go, that's what you get. It's a little bumpy here. It's starting to get a little bit of turbulence. Alright, now that we're transferring over to cruise, you're going to see the aircraft start pitching down. Okay, that's our turn to come over here now. And we forgot to do it in last flight, but this is a long flight. Now we're going to put the cruise into 93.9 here, percentage of the engines, what they're able to do in the cruise phase. So we are leveled out, pulling about Mach 7.4. Right now, our ground speed is 480 knots, so we got a little bit of a tailwind. Let me see if that's true. Where's that wind indicator? There we go. So you can see we have a slight tailwind. It's not directly on our tail, but it is pushing us. You can see the aircraft is basically yawing left a little bit to compensate for the winds if you look at the orientation here on the magenta line. And then you can see that our true airspeed is 453 knots. And there's some temperatures there for you and the time. Sim world, of course. And we're doing good. Looks like we'll maintain. Now we're up to 7.8 Mach. And we'll just watch and see how much more speed the aircraft picks up to see if we need to dial the power back or not. And we're rolling. Now if we come down here, there really is no progress page indicated here because there is no vertical navigation assistance. That's assistance in regular like English, but I like to say stuff with an accent. Of course, I don't know why, but anyway, assistance. So we'll rely on air traffic control for our descent profile and get going there. In the meantime, I need to update my flight plan here.
November 6 Golf, runway 10 ground 505.
In my Navigraph, so that's what I'm doing right now. I wonder if we can get away with a little music. Let's see how we hear them. If we hear them too rough, then I'll turn the music down.
216 Golf, runway 10 ground, information Lima is non-current, runway 25 taxi Alpha.
Alright, so a little bit of music might not hurt. We'll see how that works out for us. And we are cruising right along here on this Wednesday evening. Alright.
Vulcan 169, contact Salt Lake City approach 128.1.
128.1, Walker 169.
So we can do this right now. We get closer, we won't have any music because essentially I won't be able to hear what's going on, and there'll be a lot of commands for us. Right now, these commands, essentially with air traffic control, are going to notify us of any traffic warnings, and then of course give us descent or any other type of instructions on route changes. So we'll listen for that, but we should be pretty much good to go at this point.
Salt Lake approach, Walker 169, 17,500 for 17,000 jam in with Delta for the visual 16 left.
Alright, so one thing we also need to do is Salt Lake City's elevation is close to Reno. It's 4,231 feet.
Delta 5 arrival, expect visual approach, runway 1.
So where we need to change that,
The Delta 5 will expect it
for
more than
pressurization, you
169.
can see here our landing elevation right now is 4,400. We essentially need to increase that maybe by 100. We got to do this knob up here. I'm going to do it one turn, maybe two turns, and see what that gives us. 4480. Go ahead for Skywest 318.
Skywest 318. I just want to check the comms there. It came in really staticky the first time you called, so I just want to make sure it's cleared up.
Okay, I appreciate that. And how do you read me now?
You're 555.
Okay, roger that. And essentially, I noticed it too. What I think it was is the antenna that PilotEdge uses. And we were far away from your station, and I noticed the closer I'm getting to you, you sound much clearer. So maybe that modulation is actually working good in the sim.
Roger.
Anyway, I thought she was trying to say something else to me, but I did notice too. She was really staticky leaving. So PilotEdge has done modulation to simulate distances when you're from a radio tower or station. So essentially, once she switches over to Salt Lake Center, I was pretty much on the cusp of Oakland Center and Salt Lake City Center. And as I'm getting closer to her station, the static is coming in a little bit better. There is a boost frequency that you can use here on PilotEdge. You put it in your COM 2, and then you make it active, and that'll be 121.5. I would have used that had the static continued, but it didn't, so the only static we want to hear right now are some jams. And that was a good test for us to actually hear her.
Continental 581, business clearance, let's stand by.
All right. All right, we are rolling. All right, plane is making that right turn. Muted the mic for you guys so you didn't hear brother coughing. All right. We are rolling. Okay. Good to go for right now. Don't mind me. I'm just checking on some systems here while we cruise along. All right. I'll show you the map here in a second.
Hello, 581 cleared to Portland International Airport, Yosemite 3 departure. Intel, direct Linden, Lima, India, November. Direct Clements Lake, as filed. Maintain 10,000, expect flight level 3801 German after departure.
Right.
Departure frequency 119.6 and squawk 4203.
We are doing good, folks. You can see that turbulence a little bit. We're shaking a little bit. You know, shaking a little bit. Sorry guys, I'm just having fun in here. Keep myself highly entertained. You can see right here, we're at 23 minutes and 57 seconds.
So after Lima, India, November, which is the Linden VOR, is direct Klamath Falls VOR, is in our file, that's 3 back correct.
All right. We're not doing too bad at all, folks. We'll be to Salt Lake City in no time. I gotta try to figure out what gate.
Skywest 318 cross Bonneville at MAT flight level 2.0.
Okay, we'll be crossing our next point at flight level 240. And what was that waypoint, ma'am? I think she said Bungo.
Skywest 318 Bonneville VOR, Bravo Victor Lima.
Okay, roger that. Bravo Victor Lima VOR. We'll cross that at flight level 240 for Skywest 318. Alright, so we still have a ways to go. And this is the VOR in which she's referencing. So essentially to get there we have, 112 nautical miles to go. So once we get, let's see, right now she wants us to be there at flight level 240 at BVL. So that means that's a disparity of 7,000 feet. If we multiply that by 3, that'll be 21 nautical miles. So essentially, we'll start making our descent, excuse me, probably right around 35 nautical miles from that waypoint, from Bravo Victor Lima. Until then, we can just cruise right along. I'm actually going to check the weather out at Salt Lake City to see if we're landing south or north. And right now, it's let's get a quick look at that. So we have 60 degrees, which is basically northeast, which means we're probably landing on a northern runway. The winds are at 3 knots, so we can do full flaps landing again if we wanted to, so we can get that butter. And temperature is 3 Celsius, and the pressure is 30.35. Again, I'm debating on in future streams getting my Enviro back in, but right now we're just using Active Sky Weather. And with the spirit of that, let me go ahead and actually update that as well for the current flight plan. The weather might update. We are going from Reno to, and we're doing this at 31,000 feet. We might get a bit of a real weather update because I actually just made the actual route specific to a flight plan in my weather engine. So far, no update. So it must there we goes the update there. So it just threw in a few more clouds. So we were pretty much accurate as far as the weather was concerned. Hello from Russia. I'm gonna try to. I can't pronounce your name at all. I don't know how to read Russian, but hello, friend. Thank you for tuning in. And we love being international. Happy New Year to you. And hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the flight. We are on our last leg for this full flight from San Francisco over to Salt Lake City Center. We did one stop in Reno. Got in, got out of there. Now we're on the Salt Lake City Center, and then we can be done with our duties today as a regional pilot. Again, I'm doing some research here, and I'm going to figure out what runway we'll land on in the Salt Lake City area. I'll let you know, not what runway, but what gate we're going to be going to. So Skywest, flying for United. So there's a gate of B21. And again, this is how I do it. Here's our gates. So here's the Skywest. This flight actually arrived 14 minutes ago, so we're a little bit behind schedule. We're going to be going into gate B21, folks. So let's find B21 since we got some time to kill here on our charts. Again, everybody, thanks for staying on board. We are rolling right along. We've got about 30 minutes until, a little bit, 30 to 35 minutes until we're in Salt Lake City Center.
169, field in sight.
Volcano 169, clear to approach, runway 16 left, establish final contact tower.
Alright, so we said B21.
Final contact tower, water 169.
And we are cruising right along. Okay, so let's look at the airport first, then we'll look at the gates. Okay, so here is the airport. If we land north, here are the runways. If we land south, we'll come on these runways. Never 17, that's for a whole nother sector of the airport. We're commercial, so we're going to use one of these two runways. And now we need to figure out here, here's the A concourse, so we need to figure out where the B concourse, or Bravo concourse is. We're parking at gate B21. So gate B21 is on the B concourse, which is not even attached over here. And actually, I've never even parked at the B concourse, so this will be interesting. So this is the B concourse, and Delta, I know for a fact, parks over here. But we'll be parking at B21, which is on the very far corner over here. So that'll be our parking spot once we get into the Salt Lake City area. It's just going to depend on what actual runway that we get to determine that. Everything else is going quite copacetic. Alright. So, hope you guys are doing well. Again, we are rolling, and thinking about sharing some pictures with you guys to kill some time here. Just don't know quite what pictures that I want to show. So I talk a lot about me being in the military, and I know a lot of people are wondering. A lot of people say I don't look my age, so I'll take that as a compliment. So I've done a lot of things. I got a 22-year-old, but I'm only 21. Wink, wink. So I have a lot of kids, so I'll share a few pictures here with you guys. When I was in the military, then I'll show some pictures of me and my wife. In case you guys are curious, I want to give you guys a little bit more information about who I am, so that you guys can see that. So we'll just pick a couple of random pictures from when I was in the military. Let's pop this one in. So this is one picture here when I was in the military. I guess we'll show the next picture, which was my wife. Let's zoom in on that bad boy a little bit. So there you go. This is when I was a specialist before I made sergeant when I was in the Army, wearing those good old greens. Those good old greens back in the day. Then you can see a wonderful picture of my wife. As soon as I figure out how to make this thing work again, let's zoom back out and let us Take a look at that picture. Here's one picture of us back in the day. It's my lovely wife right there. She's always supported me, so I appreciate it. She's probably gonna make me do 10 push-ups for showing this picture, but we keeping it busy and informative here. So that's my lovely wife here that I'm always referencing. Anyway, let's get that picture out of there. Let's see. Let's pick another Army picture, if you will. Here's a cool picture. When I re-enlisted in the military, I made my command stand in the back of my truck and re-enlisted here. So you can see my commander standing there re-enlisted me at one point in my military career. Let's get rid of that one. Let's look at another one here. Now here's some time in Iraq. Here's one of my pictures when I was a cavalry soldier. This is when I was a sergeant. E5 here. And I believe at this point I was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, and of course we were headed overseas. So another wonderful picture of me overseas, which will sum everything up. I lost a lot of weight and did a lot of defending. So there's another picture, folks. All right, let's see what other cool pictures we can share with you guys. All right, what else we got here? Okay, so
Salt Lake City Tower, runway 16 left, clear to land, wind 0503.
I also help veterans. That's one of the things I do in my business now that my wife and I own. So here's a picture back in the day of me actually advocating for a veteran when I worked for the state of Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs. Let's throw this picture in here. See, there's a Marine there, and I don't know what I was doing, but that's another picture from back in the day. Share with you guys. I used to be a supervisor for the state of Minnesota, so a lot of the times I went to work in a suit. Throw that picture up. It's when I was a supervisor for the state of Minnesota. Doing a little show and tell here. All right, enough of that for now. Looks like we got some weather updates. Still kind of bouncing a little bit. And we are steadily rolling. Once again, we will be landing here probably in less than 30 minutes. Flying time is 1 hour and 6 minutes. And if you come down here, there's our flying time as of right now, 35 minutes and 19 seconds in the air. So, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. We'll be landing soon. All right. You guys have been a pleasure to have on board today. And let's go ahead and do a little health report of the aircraft. If you come here, you can see a nice GoPro view. Got the virtual GoPro camera set up right there for you guys. So there you go. Again, we should be landing soon. Starting our descent soon, I should say. So let's go ahead and do a health report of the aircraft. We've got about 3,040 pounds of fuel on board. And we don't have that many waypoints until we look at this. We've only got 40 nautical miles, and there's BVL. And of course, we got in the show and tell and missed our altitude. So let's or missed the time. We should have started descending. All right, so let's go ahead and start that descent now. Again, I was yip-yapping. Let's pull that power back. And we're going down to 24,000 feet. We may get in trouble. That'll be my fault for doing show and tell. That's all right, though. We live on the edge here. All right, we've started our descent well past BVL. Bring that descent down a little bit more aggressive, so we don't get in that much trouble.
Okay, 169. Roger, taxi to the terminal via hotel.
Alright, going down a little bit more.
Having wonderful money.
There we go, so we won't be that far off from being where we need to be.
Skywest 318, contact Salt Lake Center, 133.25.
Salt Lake Center, 33.25, we'll see you at Skywest 318. Alright, 3325. We didn't get any trouble. Booyah. And let's go ahead and switch that over here. Boom. Salt Lake City Center, Skywest 318 is at flight level 275, descending flight level 240.
Skywest 318, Salt Lake Center, Salt Lake City, altimeter 3035, landing south, cross Watts at maintain 17,000.
Okay, altimeter 3035, landing south at knots, descend and maintain 17,000, Skywest 318. Alright, so now we're on track. And here's Watts. So let's go ahead and get that down to 17,000 feet and see where we're at. Then we'll get the music off here when we get on approach, of course. Alright, perfect. There's Watts, so we can decrease our descent so it's not so aggressive. Let's square up our heading, of course. There we go. We've got a nice descent profile for Watts. There's that descent profile. So we slowed our descent down, of course. So we'll be at Watts right at 17,000, which is a good thing. Told you guys we were going to get through this flight super quick. We are descending into the Salt Lake City area. We are landing south. So it makes sense maybe 16 right would be the runway. So here's what we're going to do. I got to put this thing into the heading mode. Heading mode has been activated. It's squared up. Now we essentially need to come here and work on our departure and arrival. I'm assuming we're doing 16 right. We are going to take that, it's giving me fans or OGD. Stucco, where's the fans approach at? Okay, I see where fans at, then rough. Oh, we'll just say fans, which is fine. Okay, Watts. Now one thing, before we even execute that piece, I need to go up here and make sure that on the star, which is the, let me figure out what our star is. Our star is the Watt 5. So landing south, we need to add in some waypoints. We need to add in race. Let's see, landing from Watts, north, from south, track onto Dougie. So we need to get Dougie programmed in. Watts, then we're doing Dougie. Let's see here, Dougie. Then after Dougie, we need to do didn't pick the two. RROY. Y. Okay, so we're still doing good. We'll get back there and check that out. And then after that, okay, then after RROY, Dougie Slags. See, from Watts on track 081 to Dougie, then on depicted to ROY. Oh, I see. So we still need to put, so from Dougie, we still need to put slag in there as well. So slag is SLAGG. There we go. And then now after that, we can put fans in there. Now we can execute that. Get our nav back on. There we go, folks. We're not scared. So now one thing we need to do is come over here and go direct watts execute, because the aircraft is trying to turn around on us. And we're at 17,000 feet at 280. We're doing good. We're direct watts. We made it happen, folks. Slag, then on to Roxy. So we're not doing too bad. That's the quick thinking you got to do. Let's pick up our speed a little bit. We'll keep it right around here, about 270. And we're at 17,000 feet. The altimeter was 3039, I believe. So let's make that happen. 3039. There we go. 3039. Now we need to get the ATIS. So the ATIS there is 12475. Let's go over here to radio. So 124.75. Again, hello everybody.
318 contact Salt Lake City approach 128.1.
Okay, Salt Lake City approach 128.1, Skywest 318. All right. 12475 on the comm 2, and she said 121.8. All right, let's switch that over. Salt Lake City Center approach, Skywest 318, 17,000. All right, let's shut the music down. Let's see, what is approach? Salt Lake City Center, Skywest 318. Last frequency we got is 121.8. Is that correct, ma'am?
128.1, Salt Lake City approach.
Okay, correction, 128.1, Skywest 318, thank you. All right, 128.1, so we had it backwards. Let's program that in there, and then, of course, let's go switch that around. Salt Lake City Center approach, Skywest 318, 17,000 with the weather of the field.
Skywest 318, Salt Lake City approach. Thank you. You said you do have the field clear?
Yes, we do have the weather at the field for Skywest 318.
Skywest 318, roger. Descend via Watts 5 arrival. Expect visual approach runway 16 left.
Okay, descend via the Watts 5 arrival and expecting visual approach 16 left, Skywest 318. Alright, so descending via the Watts, we now need to essentially be at 12,000. So, down we go. We kind of missed the point there because she might have been late or whatever was going on, but we should have been already lower. Let me verify that altimeter. I didn't get the ATIS, but I have the weather here. This current altimeter says it's 3035, so let's get that in there. 3035. And now we're descending 12,000. And where's our speed at? We can keep our speed up to about 230. That's good. That's where we want it to be at. So the altimeter is all set in there. And she said 16 left, even though we have 16 right in there. So we're not even going to mess with it because she's just going to give us vectors anyway. So let's get the information for the approach for 16 left. So 16 left is 1095 on the and even though we're doing visual, we're still going to program this in 1095 just for reference, folks. Now that's done. So here's what we're going to do now that we're direct. Let's go ahead and square up that heading and put it into heading mode so I can make this change to the runway. So now departure and arrival, and we're doing 16 left, and we'll go says Weber. I don't need Weber though. Oh yeah, we'll do Weber. It's fine with me. Execute that. Go on over to legs now. Discontinuity, Roxy, then Weber. Booyah. Execute. Now we can come right back over here and put it right back in the nav mode. And actually, once we get to Roxy, you can see the weather's doing something funky there. Alright, I'm back, Chief Sim Pilot. Hopefully we receive something good there on our landing. Let's pipe that speed back down. Alright. Now if we come over to our star, let's re-verify once again our last altitude should be 12,000, which it was. So we can stay here right at 12,000, folks, and bringing that speed back. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to straighten up the heading, and it's in heading mode simply because after our after this Roxy, which is the last waypoint, we're supposed to get vectors to the final approach course, which we will do. So then another thing we need to do now is actually put this FMS into the nav2 or nav1, which is right here, and that'll have our ILS pick up should we so desire it. Let's see where that speed is doing. Alright, let's dance that back to about 230 for now, or 210 even. Okay, so we're in heading mode and nothing else to consider at this point. Same thing with our landing speed.
Skywest 318, turn right, heading 080.
Right, 080, Skywest 318. Alright, so now we're starting to get those commands that I knew we would, so we're going to go right 080. Woo! Let's pick up that speed a little bit. So she's basically giving us a base turn, and I'm assuming she's getting ready to give us some descent instructions. My bet is going to be and we'll pick up the speed about 190. Our bet on the descent instructions, she's probably to me going to at least give us 9,000.
Skywest 318, the airport is between your 2 to 3 o'clock, 15 miles. Report in sight, just going to maintain 9 to top.
Okay, we'll go down to 9,000. We're going to cloud and we'll report when we have the field in sight. Skywest 318. All right, so
Skywest 318 flighting 140, join the runway 16 left localizer.
140 to join 16 left localizer, Skywest 318. All right, so we're going over to heading 140. And let's put on the approach. Keep our descent going. So we have the localizer armed. We got 140. So localizer's been captured, of course. So localizer's captured. Let's slow down on the speed. And we have ice, so that's very important that we pay attention to that. So now we need to put our icing on here. Put all our probes on. There we go. Now we've got icing and our approach speed is going to be 143. There is the field.
It's showing ceiling's broken at 6,000. Are you still on top of the layer?
We actually do have the field in sight now for Skywest 318.
Skywest 318, thank you. Clear visual approach, runway 16 left, 5 mile final contact tower.
Cleared visual approach 16 left, and we'll contact tower in a 5 mile final for Skywest 318. Okay, tower frequency is, things are happening fast again. Tower 16 left is 119.05. Radio 119.05. Boom. We are not on a 5 mile final yet, but let's go ahead and slow the aircraft down and get ready for landing, folks. All right, autopilot's coming off. Landing lights, everything is on. Here we go. I have the breakout. Salt Lake City Tower, Skywest 318 visual for runway 16 left, but it looks like I'm gonna need to do a go around because the approach doesn't look good here for Skywest 318. All right, we're gonna do
318, Roger. Go ahead and switch back to Salt Lake City approach on 128.1.
Okay, we're going back to approach on 128.1 for Skywest 318. All right, guys, that was a good call on our part. So before we do that, let's stabilize the aircraft, of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to heading mode, and we're going to click heading mode and altitude and autopilot. All right, that's the first thing you want to do. Now we'll switch back over. All right, let's get rid of that autopilot. I don't know why the plane is doing what it's doing, but let's figure that out. You guys caught that? I caught it. No worries. Salt Lake City Center approach. Skywest 318 is going miss for runway 16 left.
Skywest 318, Salt Lake City approach, Roger. Call and maintain 10,000 and leaving 7,000, fly heading 295.
Okay, sorry, getting our aircraft under control here. We'll climb and maintain 10,000 feet. And what was that heading for Skywest 318? I don't know why.
Skywest 318 heading 295 and say intentions.
Roger that. 295 on the heading, then we'll say intentions for Skywest 318. All right, let's get this under control. I don't know what was going on with the autopilot here, but we want to climb 10,000 feet. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fly it manually here really quick. Let's disconnect that. Oh, there we go. That's what was going on. I see exactly what was happening. Just watch that speed, watch that speed, watch that speed. Come on. Come on, you could do it. Are we at 10,000? We are at 10,000. We're watching that speed. That was a close call. And she said 295 on the heading. Come on, come on. All right.
Aaron 2166 Golf, Albuquerque Center, go ahead.
All right, so we fixed that up. When in doubt, do a go around, folks. When in doubt, do a go around. 297. All right. Woo! Okay. Got interesting. It got real interesting, didn't it? All right, let's slow our speed down. Okay, Salt Lake City departure. Skywest 318 wind miss. We're getting on the heading of 295 now with the airplane stable and looking to do an approach again, visual approach for 16 left if that's possible.
Skywest 318, Roger. Continue the right turn heading 345.
Continue right turn to 345, Skywest 318. All right, so a lot of stuff going on. That was definitely a horrible approach. We were going to force it, and it wasn't worth it. So it was.
2166 Golf.
It was a sloppy going miss, but we'll be able to handle it again.
8 miles.
No worries at all.
VOR, wind flow altimeter 3028. Maintain appropriate deep altitude.
So the problem is, I thought the autopilot was supposed to be engaged. When you click this, it stays out. You got to push it back in. Again, that's why this is where the pressure of only being a single pilot.
318, the airport is now off your 1 to 2 o'clock, 3 miles. Do you have it in sight?
Skywest 318 is back in a cloud right now, but I'm assuming as soon as we go lower to 9,000, we'll have it in sight. So if you want to line us up in the ILS again, we can do it that way, and then I'll report it at sight once I have it for Skywest 318.
Skywest 318, Roger, still maintain 9,000.
Down to 900,000, Skywest 318. All right, so let's go down to 900,000 and see if we can get a visual, because we sure don't have a visual. Back down. I like where the speed is at, and we'll be at 900 right here. So we don't want to descend and pick up too much speed or be too high. Okay, landing lights are still on. If we would like, we could still get the ILS. There's no problem there. Let's dial the speed back. And you can see here, we're at 9,500. So she's going to give us a turn again, and then we'll try it all over again. So let's go back and see if we have that visual of the field. Salt Lake City Center approach. Skywest 318 now has a visual of the field.
Skywest 318, Roger, clear visual approach, runway 16 left. If you want to continue on vector for the localizer, just say that.
Okay, roger that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and stay downwind for a little bit more, and we're clear visual approach 16 left for Skywest 318. And thanks for all your help. All right.
No problem.
All right, so we got ourselves back where we need to go. And let's go ahead and get the aircraft. One of the problems too is I want to basically, yeah, we can leave our thrust limit here. Should put it in the climb, but I won't do that. Approach speed is going to be right around 143, 150. So I like our speed right now. Now we are cleared visual approach. So essentially we need to start descending now is the problem. So this descent, the way it happened last time, everything happened way too quick, and that was the problem. So let's get ourselves down to about 7,000 before we make our final turn, which we need to intercept the glide slope at Yip. which is right here at 6,000. So that's why things kind of happened so quickly last time. All right, we're going flaps 9 right now. You can see it's coming out here. Let's go here and rearm our situations. All right, parking brake. The spoilers were on there, so we made sure we got that off. All right. Keep the speed about 180. Increase that range for our turn. So it's going to be a little bit of a tighter turn than we would like. But once I get to where we need to go, I won't have any problem. Let's go down on that a little bit more, pull the power back. All right, I hope everybody's having an exciting arrival into the Salt Lake City area. We had some aircraft snafus, but we got her back under control. Essentially, we had everything lined up with the autopilot. The problem is the autopilot didn't come on because this was still pulled out. So kind of had like a dumb moment there, but we did pretty good for me not having flown this aircraft in a long time to get her back under control. Okay, so what we have here is we've got our auto spoilers and auto reversers looking good. Let's pull that power back now. Okay, here at Tomb, we're supposed to be at 9,000, so I can go ahead and start making our turn manually now. We're not doing any ILS, folks. We're going to do it straight up motivated sim pilot style. Let's pull that power back. Keep our turn going here. Right over that pretty water. We're nice and low. We're keeping our manual turn going here. Speed check flaps 2. Alright, so we made our own turn. We're getting our own selves back situated. There most certainly is the runway. We don't need no stinking ILS. Alright, right at V approach. Let's go ahead and go gear down. We're not doing this messed up approach twice. Gear is coming down. We'll wait for this to reference 3 green. And then we can go full flaps, of course. Gear is down. Full flaps.
Skywest 318, contact Salt Lake City Tower.
Over to tower, Skywest 318.
There's 66 Golf, contact Albuquerque Center, 128.45.
Alright. Salt Lake City Tower, Skywest 318 is back on the visual for 16 left. Alright.
Skywest 318, Salt Lake City Tower, wind 050 at 3, runway 16 left, clear to land.
16 left, clear to land, Skywest 318. Alright, so these flaps, we're going up one stage of flaps. I didn't like it. The plane was getting, you see the nose was coming up. So we're going to just play it by ear now. Now we're low on fuel, of course, because we had to do that go around. There's no problem there. So here we go again for a wonderful approach into the Salt Lake City area. All right.
Sir 2166 Golf, Albuquerque Center, thank you.
She is super floaty. Let's get that speed dial back down slightly. All right, so yep, we should be down to 6,000. So let's nose down slightly. So landing gear is down. We're low on fuel, of course, but that's no worries because we are gonna get ourselves on the deck this time. Alright, so everything's pretty stable at this point. I'm trimming the aircraft down, just monitoring the speed. Let's go ahead and get a look again. Gear is down. Landing lights are on. Auto spoilers and auto throttles are armed. Alright, alright. Thank you, piggies, for saying nice recovery. We do what we can. We do what we can here. Alright. She's really fighting me, though, this time on this approach. So that wind is pretty egregious. So we're just going to fill her out. I reduced it one level of flaps because otherwise you got to go way slower than you anticipated. We are on final approach for runway 16 left, heading towards the beacon course. And you guys can see she's still dancing up quite a bit. I'm fighting her, so let me pull the power back slightly, calm her down, because she is definitely fighting me. I'm trimming that nose down, and I'm just letting her purr right now, guys. I am letting her purr. We have a good descent profile at this point. Let me do some more trimming on that nose so she don't have to fight me as much. There we go. Right now I'm liking our descent profile. She's kind of balanced back out, and I like it. I think we can work with this, folks. Again, interesting. And it's just saying glide slope, but I'm all visual, so I'm gonna just ignore the glide slope, folks. We are just a little bit high. That's all, or low, I should say. Don't worry, I'm all visual though. Don't worry about the glide slope. That's the beautiful thing about being visual. It's visual. Alright, folks, here we go. I like our speed. I like how the aircraft is handling for me. Alright. Remember what they say, folks. When in doubt, do a go around. Pulling that speed back slightly. I really like this approach so far for 16 left. So nose up slightly. There's the outer marker. Alright, we got another butter landing, even after a tumultuous arrival. There we go, that front gear is down. Alright, reversers are on and working this time, folks. Alright, we're bleeding speed. Bleeding speed, bleeding speed. Alright, we should make the next taxiway. Alright, reverse free. Wheel brakes are being applied. And welcome it in, folks, into the Salt Lake City Center, or Salt Lake City area. Let's pull off here and get our bearings and figure out how to get ourselves over the Bravo Concourse. Hallelujah, we made it, folks, with another butter landing after quite the rushed approach, and looks like we are on Hotel 3. Alright, now we're gonna have to come to a stop because I gotta get APU on. I gotta rest up a little bit here. Parking brake is absolutely set. Let's get the aircraft all cleaned up, and let's get that let's get everything off here. Let's get those landing lights off, and let's get that strobe off. And let's get the APU started. Salt Lake City Center, or as you are, Salt Lake City Tower. Skywest 318 is clear of runway 16 left on Hotel 3, looking to taxi to the Bravo Concourse.
Skywest 318, taxi to terminal via hotel, up to your trace to the gate and monitor ground. Have a great night.
Okay, appreciate that. We'll taxi via hotel to the gate. We'll monitor ground. Thanks for your help once again. Have a great night, Skywest 318. All right. Woo! Let's go ahead and see what the ground frequency is. Ground frequency here is, there's tower, ground, 16 left, 23,775. So we're going to go over to the radio here. 123.775, and I'll get to you guys in the comments here in a second. Pretty sure you guys got something to say about something. We're monitoring ground. We can most certainly get some musica on now that we've kind of revived our lives. Alright, in the comments, impressive. Chief Sim Pilots, thank you. Another butter landing, thank you, honey. Sam Castle in the house, thank you for saying nice landing. And Chief Sim Pilots saying he's got some competitions. Piggies is saying butter and nice recovery. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, folks. Definitely, I tell you, man, these flights are always interesting to make it happen. Okay, let's go ahead and get this taxi into the ramp so this time we can get ourselves a nice replay. We're going to taxi via hotel. Taxi via hotel. Aircraft is all cleaned up. And we are most certainly heading over to the Bravo concourse. Once again, thank you guys, as always, for flying along with me here. Motivated Sim Pilot. You never know what's going to be thrown at us in a flight. Again, that approach was nasty. We were way too high. We were way too fast. There was a user error on my part by way of the autopilot. I will never forget that again, to make sure once I pull that out to push back in if I do a go around. But we recovered nicely. Things were a little sloppy, but that's what makes this world interesting, folks. You never know what chocolate you're gonna get out of the box of chocolates, and all you can do is just do your best, plan for the worst and hope for the best. That's how we made it today. We planned, we did some hoping after we had to get that go around really quick, but that's what it takes. That's what we train for here. That's what we train for here. Alright, we are essentially coming all the way up, and let's see, not Echo, we'll see how we get over there. There's no real taxiway. I see one. Looks like it's basically Hotel 7 almost. Alright, we're rolling in. Did you guys see that too? We had low fuel. We had low fuel. All the cards were stacked against us. But here we are. Living to talk about it. Living to talk about it, folks. All right. Let's go ahead and make this little left here. Nice little left here, and we'll work our way around. All right. I do like this airport, Salt Lake City. Been here when I was a soldier. One of my good friends who is from this area.
Chinook approach, Cessna 3996 Delta with VFR request.
So funny thing is, this scenery doesn't even have the Bravo concourse in it. So we're gonna literally have to go right over here to Delta 9, which
flight following to Pasco. Papa Sierra
that's
Charlie,
actually what it's saying it is.
For 4,500.
Okay, so we're gonna come right in here to.
And we're 182 for 96 Delta.
Delta 9 it is.
133, Krishna.
This essentially is the Bravo Concourse on my scenery, and this would be the gate, the corner gate, which you guys saw us pick it out. Alright, let's slow our approach speed in here, and then we are getting ready to go ahead and do our replay. There we go. I got nervous there. Started stuttering on me. Alright.
906 Delta, Chinook approach. I'm not able to get the 9. Can I get a different squawk?
906 Delta, that would be a 9 or 8 in a squawk code. So if you hear that, it's copied wrong or it was said wrong. Squawk is 1667.
1667 for 3996 Delta.
It's got like 2 lines here. Alright, you can see CRJ. We'll go all the way up. Alright, parking brake is set. Let's get our squawk off. Booyah. Let's come up top, connect the GPU or the, and then we're getting, the APU. We are essentially literally getting ready to make this happen. And we can essentially now come down the bottom and we'll first get our landing light off. We'll leave the beacon on there for a second.
It's going to be
Alright.
Tri-Cities.
Let us get our comms off. We don't need to hear them anymore because we about to do us a replay. Alright, now with no further ado, we will disconnect from PilotEdge. So we no longer need them, and let's look at these replays. The plane is off, power is set. One thing we did forget to turn off is our anti-ice. No worries there. We can essentially shut all this good stuff off, and then we'll get into our replay. Let's turn our pumps off, of course. Do-do-do. And we'll leave it there for now. We'll consider the plane shut down. We won't open the door yet. And let's get a quick replay again, folks, because we worked hard today, boy. We worked hard today. Here we go. On to the replay, folks. I'm getting it set up. I am getting it set up. Let me tell you something. I never planned for such an interesting approach, but it happened, folks. It happened in real time. So now we're going to replay the landing, and hopefully we get a good replay here. I'll do my wife's scenes, then we'll do what we usually do and ride out to some music as we approach. Alright, here we are on approach, folks. I know you guys want to see, so here we go. We're seeing some stuff here. Alright, so not bad at all. Somewhat of a stable approach on the way in. Once we got past that little bit of chop, you can see our nose was up. And bringing her in nice and smooth, of course. The way we do it, because you guys were on board. There's a nice little profile of that. Alright, you can see we nose was up pretty decently. Alright, here we go, here we go. Alright, right over the numbers. Let's get that target zone. Woo! Kissed it nice and soft. We kept the nose up for a hot minute and we touched it down on center line, folks. Look at that nose still up. Look at that nose still up. Kiss it. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful, guys. For such an ugly approach, that was truly marvelous. Who wants to see that again? Hold on. We got to see that again real quick before we hit the next scene. We got to see that again. We just can't not see that again. We did so good, us together, in the fight together. We lived together. We was about to die together, but we lived together. Here we go. Touching those back wheels down with our 5 degrees nose up. We just kissed that ground. We held that nose up like we should have. Bleeding that speed, and mwah. There we go. Not bad at all, not bad at all. Let's run it back really quick again and get my wife's scene going here. Here we go. This is what she loves to see. Here you go, honey. Here we go, honey. All right, I'm out. Catch you next time. Love, peace, and everything. Chiefs and Pilot, thanks for joining. Piggies, thanks for being here. Flight Sim 4722, thanks for being here. All the way from Russia, thanks for being here. Everybody, if I missed you, I'm sorry. Thanks for being here. Wife, kids, mom, dad, Earth, everybody, thank you for being here. If I missed you on the shout out, you can make me do push-ups later. You are most certainly welcome, Piggies. Thanks for joining. I hope to keep it interesting for you guys all the time. Now you guys know we got to do the wing view because we just can't ride out with this life without a wing view. So, which side should we do? The right side or the left side? Ooh, so scenic, so scenic. Let's do the right side, and then we'll switch over to the left side. How about that? Here goes that wing view. All right, guys. I really enjoyed this stream. I really enjoyed having you guys on board. All right, here we go. So I would say word of the day or phrase of the day would be go around. When in doubt, go around, and you could still land okay. I've been on plenty of aircrafts that did go around, so. All right, that was a sweet touchdown. As always, guys, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to make sure I miss anybody. Chiefs and Pilot, Piggies, Flight Simulator 4723, all the way from Russia. Sam Castle in the house. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Honey, wife, kids, our cat, the house. Thank you for supporting me, being here with me. Anybody else that checked in, if I missed you, I'm sorry. Next time, send me a hello. Say what's up. Happy New Year, something. I'll shout you out in the chat. We made it here to Salt Lake City. We will be departing here on our next flight, whenever that may be. Until then, I want you guys to take care of yourself. Happy New Year once again. Let's keep it fresh and positive and motivated in this new year. And together, as you see, together, we rise, stay galvanized. We were together on this flight. We did the go around together. We came back around. We had great air traffic control. She was patient with us. She was assisting us. What can I say? We made it. Appreciate you. See you next time. One love. Take care of yourselves. Motivated Sim Pilot. I'm out. One love. Thank you once again. Thank you once again, Piggies. You be safe. Well, later, Piggies. Thanks for it. Chief Sim Pilot, thanks for saying great stream. Once again, we riding it in the passenger cabin until we pull up, and then we're out. Once again, thanks for all the support. One love.